Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales on Tap. We hope that you're having a wonderful day, wonderful week so far. It's been a short week here in the UK with the Easter weekend, so this is effectively the first day of work for most of us, which fucking sucks. But welcome into the channel. I hope that everyone's doing well. We are back for episode 14 of Aerilon, A Destined Journey. And I am joined, as always, by our lovely players. Hello, lovely players.
BR. I'm joining BR.
Well, that about sums up what you can expect to find here at this on this channel. But as we say, before we jump into tonight's episode, we've got some very important announcements to make. We're going to start with Dan. Do you want to go first this week? Sure, why not? You go first.
Go on then. Everyone can now excuse me while I become a 10-year-old reading a thing to a class, but I have something to read that is proper. We here at Tales on Tap are sponsored by Tom Carter's Battlemaps for all those lovely times when we actually decide to get into combat. But there is something important and special I need to talk about this week. This is now your 1-week reminder that his Kickstarter for Volume 3, Into the Wilds Battlemaps books, will go live on the 9th at 9 a.m. EST. Into the Wilds is a collection of 9 fully customizable Biome, I'm going to say is the word there, and region-themed physical Battle-map books. Biome. It says Biome. I'm going to say Biome and Biome.
Okay.
Because I say apparel and not apparel.
Just run with it, Dan. This is why we do it. It is Biome, but I love Biome. Go with it. Run with it, brother.
Yeah.
if you would like to pre-purchase your favorite books.
Or the apparel. Or any dice.
Dices.
Dicey.
Anyway, Dan, continue.
So there's a thing going on with some stuff. I can't pronounce words properly. Where the fuck was I? Regional themed physical battle map books for your favorite TTRPG, Dungeons and Dragons, or Pathfinder if you're that way inclined. They are ideal for preset or random encounters, so you can be fully prepared no matter what direction your players choose to head in. Volume 3 introduces new urban-themed books into the series, while returning volumes 1 and 2 include overworld and underworld-themed books as well. The maps are all completely hand-drawn by himself, not myself, and are customizable with and include reusable asset stickers and your own 3D terrain or dry erase markers. Backing at any tier also includes the complete digital bundles for online and home printing. So, get over to Tom Kartos, support his Kickstarter, do all the good stuff, and now I'm going to let other people talk because I can no longer do that.
Excellent. So if you want to get some really inclusive Battlemaps, then just go over to Kickstarter. Next up, shall we...
Son of a bitch.
You managed to say that correctly? Mad. Han, do you want to tell us about one of our other lovely sponsors?
Sure thing. We are sponsored by Awfully Queer Heroes. If you are interested in enhancing your D&D experience through neurodivergent friendly and queer modules, NPCs, spellbooks, and more, then be sure to go and head over to their DriveThruRPG or Patreon, where you can download either digital or order physical copies of all of their content. Also, make sure to head over to their Kickstarter, where they have various things in the works, and it's always good to give them a follow and back whatever's there. They value non-AIR inclusivity. They have very similar values to ourselves, and we hope that you go check them out. And also, speaking of non-AIR, a bit of a shameless plug. If you're interested in any D&D commissions being done, whether that be a character, familiar, whatever it may be, then make sure you check out myself and Natalie's, I don't know where she is, here, Instagram, or to get into contact with us on Discord, whatever it might be. Shoot us a message and we can work something out for you, whether that's just, headshot, full body, whatever it is, we will get it done, and commissions are open for us both, so be sure to check us out.
Love that.
Very, 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 very good.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good. And I will say that plug was extremely shameless. Well done, you. Yeah. Love that.
We don't do shame around it.
Nope. Natalie, do you want to jump on board and kick us off with another sponsor announcement?
Of course. I am here to talk about Valkyrie RPG. That's Valkyrie-RPG. All details are in the dungeon. They've currently got a 4 for 3 deal going on. So if you buy 4, you pay for 3. Though our Tales 10 at checkout will not work on that or subscription boxes. Though anything else online on the website is 10% off if you do use Tales 10 at checkout. They do all sorts of dice, apparel. I was trying to think of how to say terrain like that, but it's just terrain. But anyway, yeah, lovely TTRPG stuff.
Turion.
Lovely TTRPG stuff to enhance your game, or just to have. I have lots of dice that I like just to have, even though we play online. So check them out. All details in the dungeon. That's all I have to say.
Love that. Lovely. Thank you very much. Chris, what the hell is going on with Tales on Tap?
Fuck knows.
Fuck knows, mate.
What's coming?
You're asking the wrong person.
What's coming up? What's happening? Who knows?
There's a few things coming up, actually. You can listen to this week's episode in podcast form, as well as last week's and our previous episodes. At least once I've recorded myself saying, you're listening to episode 13 of the Tales on Tap podcast, another 25 or so times, and send that over to Dan. Once I've done that, you'll be able to listen to this podcast and any following podcasts on anywhere you listen to your podcasts, where you pod your casts, cast your pods.
Right, can we stop saying the podcast?
I'm just trying to get it in people's heads, all right?
If you podcast a casting pod...
Yeah, if you cast your pods where you pod your podcasts, then anyway, that's a thing. Go listen to that. We're also going to be releasing a few YouTube videos soon. One of them is going to be on Daggerheart, where we're going to be making some characters, potentially remaking previous characters from our previous campaign in this new system, seeing how they turn out, or seeing how we might want to do things a little bit differently given the new systems involved. So that's going to be a video on our YouTube channel you're going to be able to watch soon. Go over, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also find weekly uploads of the live streams there as well, in case you miss them and you're not subscribed and can't watch the VODs, in which case, why not? And then we're going to be going to the UK Games Expo come the end of May, I think it is, isn't it? It's the end of May.
Yep.
A lot of us who you can see before you today, in fact, I think all of us pretty much
all of us
you today. Given that Evan's not here, which is quite convenient because it makes my life easier, although I've already made a meal of it. So we're going to be at UK Games Expo. Come see us. We might be doing a little meet and greet at the Valkyrie RPG booth. And Tom Carlos, I think, is probably going to be there as well. He was there last year, so you'll be able to meet up with Tom, see some of our sponsors, see us. And then further afield, there is going to be a new interim campaign beginning here on Tales on Tap in the next couple of months. More information will be available about that either here during our announcements, or more likely, you might be able to get a sneak preview of that on our Discord. So make sure you're going over and joining our Discord for little hints of what's coming in the future. But it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then at some point, we're going to be seeing the next part of Aerilon, A Damned Voyage, once we're able to get those people back together to continue that saga.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Listen out for more details on that.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And if you want to keep up to date with all the latest things that are all to do with Tales on Tap, then make sure you check out all of our social media channels. So we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, I believe. Yep. TikTok, although we're shit at that. Instagram, but we're also shit at that. In fact, we're pretty bad at a lot of stuff.
Evan is away. We're working on it.
What we do have is gusto.
Yeah.
And that
we have the audacity to say we're on these platforms.
Yep.
Therefore, go follow us on those platforms.
So. I was going to say self-belief, but audacity is probably more.
Yeah. So if you want to check us out on social media, then there's links for all that kind of stuff downstairs as well. Go click the links, follow, subscribe, notification bell, stalk, do what,
Feel free.
Questionable activities on
push the buttons.
Yeah. Push the buttons.
Yeah, do all that kind of stuff. That would be really nice of you. As Chris said, then. No, you good?
Just jamming, don't worry.
Nice.
I don't want to keep going.
No. As Chris said, you can catch all of our VODs over on YouTube. If you haven't checked that out already, go over there, click subscribe, hit the notification bell. We upload videos every single week. So if you aren't able to come and catch us live, then you can catch up on there, or, rewatch this back on Twitch when you've got a minute, all that fun stuff. Also, there's a purple button just underneath there that either says follow if you haven't followed yet, and then you can click that and it will do a magical thing where this alert thing pops up on the screen. It's quite fun. Or if you've done that, that then unlocks a new button, like a brand new button. So once you hit the follow button, a new button unlocks, and all you have to do is press a button. It's mad. And then once that button is unlocked, and you press that button for subscribing, it then unlocks emotes and other cool things. So there's like a whole process. So just start clicking the buttons downstairs, and it might cost you £5, but hey, who cares? Do that. Cool. If you don't, yeah, you don't have to pay for it. If you pay for Amazon Prime, though, you can connect your Twitch account to it and get a free subscription. You don't have to spend that here. We just want people to come and watch us do stupid things on the internet. So
also earn points that can give people inspiration, just like KSGM gave Kiri some.
Yay.
DM doesn't particularly like it, but we do. We appreciate it.
For all of our long-term viewers, you know that the DM doesn't like a lot of things, but we're still here smiling through it anyway. So before we jump into tonight's session, because I think that about wraps up all the announcements, shall I have D20 rolls from Han and Chris, please? Thank you.
Okie dokie.
This is where Chris realizes he doesn't have his dice.
Oh, I got them. I
think it's going to be Chris this week.
I think it's going to be Chris
That's
too.
what my bet is.
Oh, that's a bad bet.
Oh.
What did you roll?
I rolled an 18.
I rolled an 18.
Okay, re-roll, please.
You're still in for a chance.
Han, what is Han's dexterity score?
Oh God, -1.
Yeah, I reckon so.
I mean,
re-roll the thing anyway.
I have broken wrists.
What's Chris's?
Okay.
Used to be quite high, but I got a 14 on the rollies.
I got a 2.
Oh,
let's go.
If you can make some notes for us, please, you will be.
Oh, that's a 12, but still lower.
We're all good.
I do still have my disadvantage from that I didn't actually.
Yeah. You're not having a disadvantage on a fucking roll for recap. You're having
the only
it when
time
it
I
matters.
remind you about it is for the recap.
I know. Excellent.
Shockingly.
Right, should we play some D&D?
No.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Who said no?
It was Chris.
It wasn't. I said, yeah, go on then. Hey, I will not stand for this slander.
Yeah, let's play.
Right,
Yes,
well,
please.
on that, if you haven't already, go get yourselves a drink, get yourselves relaxed and comfortable as we dive into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap.
Tales on Tap.
Tales on Tap.
Note to self, get more than one house key made. My trip to the library had been informative, and I'd even managed to get myself some high-quality spellings and papers, which is good. Now I can really start working on something to help cure Pim and Liana. Unfortunately, I had to wait for Pim and Kiri to return, as they seemed to have the only key to the place, but eventually they returned with so much stuff I couldn't help but smile. It seems their busking expedition had turned into one of a first-time homeowner. It was sweet to see them so happy. Finally getting inside and unpacking, we waited patiently for Eddie and Liana to return from whatever escapade they had decided to get into. Something to do with Eddie's old place of business, the bakery, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm getting a fresh tray of cinnamon rolls. But I trust them both to come back in one piece. Getting a good home-cooked meal started and shooing away from some god-botherers from the door, it was sunset when, as promised, Eddie and Liana returned to the smell of a good cooked meal. The things you learn about people are funny, at times, but neither Eddie or Liana had heard of batter puddings or gravy, for that matter. And I thought I grew up sheltered at times. We start our first found family meal together, and our regular friend the Raven returns to collect Pym. I set out a plate and invite him to the table to, like Eddie, enjoy his first taste of gravy. It was while we were eating the conversation turns to what we had learned from the day, and for better or worse, I began. We have roughly 28 days before the next full moon. 1 hour before the moon rises, we need a cleric who can remove curses, Wolfsbane, both plant and potion, and the fortitude needed to fight this curse. To put it as simply as I can. I think it may have set the tone a little low without meaning to. I suppose it's just part of who I am, but I wouldn't want anyone withholding information from me. As the Raven hurries Pym to get ready, we all take a moment to ensure his safety with him and where he is going. I still don't know how I feel about the Raven. His motives and demeanor seem honest enough, but I don't know, there's something a little too perfect about him and well suited to our band. While Pym was away, Eddie and Liana revealed that their trip to the bakery had brought up very interesting information, and that Eddie's original job was set up by Malgrave's butler, Thessel, which means someone higher up is pulling more strings than we had imagined. As Pym says his goodbyes, we are left standing alone with a small Pym-shaped hole in our group. As I clear away dinner, Liana brings up her thoughts on a group name, and looking to a spell Pym and I have used a few times as inspiration, we come to the decision that we are now known as the Unseen Servants. It's poetic, all things considered, and it does seem to fit our operation. It also comes to cement us as a group, as we take the time to lay bare our goals and needs if we are to stay together. Much more than I thought I would. Bohemia, the affliction, my father, my sickness. What I had come to Windmere to do. I don't know if it was me being tired of holding it all in, or perhaps I really do feel like I have friends again. Real friends, but I spill the tea on what I actually was up here for. They don't say much outside of listening, and I appreciate it as it is something I don't like to disclose. And it is at that point Kira remembers she has a present for Eddie and quickly runs off to find it, and honestly, I am happy for the distraction. Too much attention in one go. Everyone takes a bit of time to converse and regather our thoughts before we come to around the table for another good think tank session about just what we do know and what our next move is to be. It seems from what we have discovered, war is close to breaking out given the amount of delegates coming into Windmere, and the Flux epidemic is getting worse in the Undercity. It seems there is a plot of some kind being executed, and we may just be the ones pulling it all together unknowingly. We come to the conclusion that we need to figure out what Eddie was going to blow up originally and what actually exploded, and then potentially stop in with both Alara and Tanner to see who we can just call an ally. There's a lot to do, and we need to formulate proper plans before we can make a move, but it feels as if we are getting closer to finding out exactly what we have been tasked to do. Potentially a way out of this, or maybe something worse. But we will be free from this. I'll make sure of it.
Very good.
Very
Nicely
good.
done.
So, will our band of adventurers come up with a plan to rid the world of the evil stuff? Will Eddie have a good night's sleep at least one fucking night this week? Probably not. Will he make a big fuss about it this morning? I don't know. We're going to find out, though. So, after the end of last week's session, you guys all went to bed and gained a long rest. If you haven't updated your character sheets as yet, please make sure you do. This is a very hospitable place to rest, meaning you get all your hit points back. It's 100% of your hit point total based on our homebrewed rules. because this is your home, man. So
Yeah.
easy. Your own bed. Nothing really dangerous other than the glass on the top step of the stairs.
It's now covered by a towel, so it's
which
fine.
is now hidden, which I realised after the session only Virgil and Edivir know about. So, we pick up in the middle of the night when Liana goes sleepwalking. No, I'm joking, of course. We pick up our session this week really early in the morning, like just as the sun starts to crest the horizon, bringing warmth and light to the land. Edivir, the focus pans in to your room.
Mm-hmm.
You're sat at the edge of the bed in your night garments, whatever it is that you choose to sleep in, and you're essentially perched at the edge of your bed, kind of hunched over a little bit, looking down towards your feet, and beads of cold sweat just dripping off your forehead and hitting the wooden floor beneath your feet. At the end of last session, we visited Edivir in one of his dreams. The dreamlike state took him into a very distant and long forgotten memory from his childhood. We'll rejoin you now, Edivir, as you are currently sat on the edge of your bed.
So after Edivir manages to sort of compose himself and realize where he is, and, you know, comes to realize that what he just went through was a dream, he shakes it off a little bit. Am I able to tell? I don't know if I've got a window in my room. I probably would have chosen a room without one. But am I able to tell whether morning has broken or whether it's still very much the middle of the night?
So it's at that, we're sort of in that, like...
I keep forgetting I have a watch.
Yeah, but you would sort of, you look at the watch and you see that it's roughly around 5:30, 6 o'clock. In spring, meaning it is just about getting light, but it's not light, daytime light, but it is turning to morning. I would say that all the rooms have windows, so you could also take a peek outside.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you hear the sound of the city just waking up.
Okay. So, Edivir will just kind of lay back down on his bed for a short moment and just sort of with his arm behind his head and just stare at the ceiling for a little bit and think. And then he'll take out one of his daggers and stab himself now. He'll start etching into the wall next to his bed. Just an etched drawing of a rose growing through cobbled streets, just next to his bed.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, he'll be listening for anyone else getting up so that he can warn them about the glass on the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to stay there and do that. And then if he's done that and no one else is still up, he'll probably go up and get up and start cleaning that up.
Okay.
Regathering his shattered glass into its pouch.
Yeah, you will probably have about an hour to an hour and a half before anybody else wakes up.
Okay.
So if there's anything you'd like to do this morning while you've got a bit of time.
No, this morning is very much just like any other morning for Edivir.
Okay.
It was a bit of a rough night, but not his first. So he's just, but reminded of that he is in this new space. He'll etch that little symbol into the wall next to his bed, sort of close to where his head is when he sleeps, so that he can look at it before falling asleep. But then once he's done that, which would only take about 15 or 20 minutes, it's not an art piece. It's very much just a symbol for him to know is there. He'll get up. He'll sweep up the top step, and probably go check if there's anything in the kitchen that he doesn't have to cook.
Okay. As you arrive in the kitchen, after getting yourself washed, dressed, kind of equipped for the day, you find that given your previous meals and proclivity to just eat blocks of cheese or whatever you can get your hands on.
Mhm.
There's plenty in there that you would go, yeah, that's breakfast. That's like half an onion and a bit of pepper and half a bit of cheese. And you're like, yeah, that's breakfast.
Big into his no-cook meals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just like find a box of cocktail sausages or something like that and just like...
yeah. Just at the kitchen table at 7 a.m. You sweet chili dip, just easy. Okay. So next, Kyria.
Yes.
It is roughly
early for you.
7:15 in the
Right.
morning.
Okay.
I'd like to know where the playing card is, please.
Oh, it's on my chest still.
Yep.
I ain't parting with it because otherwise I'll forget it.
You wake up to the sudden kind of pulsating of the card, like whoop, 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 whoop,
Ah! Mm.
on your chest.
Look. Hello?
Oh, finally! I have been trying to reach you for 45 minutes.
What time is it?
It is 7:15 in the morning. It's daytime practically. What are you, Kyria?
It's
What are you
not
doing?
daytime. I'm
What-
sleeping.
Right. Are you all at home? You're there?
Yes.
Okay. Quite important. I am coming to see you in the next half an hour. I won't be alone.
With Pim?
No, not with Pim.
Is Pim okay?
Pim's fine. He is asleep. But
Right, so Pim's allowed to sleep, but I'm not allowed to sleep.
yeah, that's right.
Right, fine. See you in half an hour.
Okay. Bye.
I, not getting up,
Yep.
literally lying in bed, message every single person in the house.
Oh, you're one of them.
I was like, Raven's coming in half an hour. Raven's coming in half an hour. Raven's coming in half an hour. I'm gonna have half an hour more sleep. Come get me when he's here.
Which one person did you send that last message
Yeah,
to?
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure like one of us heard that 3 times.
Yeah. So,
Sleep message.
Edivir, you kind of hear that message while you're at the kitchen table. Virgil and Liana, you are woken up to by this message in your head of the Raven is coming in half an hour.
You want to go?
I was waiting for you.
Cool.
Alright, so she's already been sort of half awake. She's just been lying, staring at the ceiling staring at the ceiling. Because she went to bed a bit earlier than everybody else last night. So hearing this message come through, okay, all right, and she stretches out her muscles and gets up, gets dressed, makes her way over to the mirror that's in the corner of the room, just making sure she looks okay. That she takes extra care to make sure that her sleeves are pulled all the way down, and she looks presentable. She also, very similar to what Edivir was doing, takes the time to scratch into the frame of the mirror 7 letters, and just okay, right, and she shouts at the top of her lungs. I wouldn't wait for the. Oh, did she didn't get the whole "I'm going back to bed"?
No,
did
no.
She? Okay.
She
so
just got the Raven is coming in half an hour.
Okay. So she doesn't do that.
Hmm.
She grabs her axe, as she normally does, and makes her way downstairs. Seeing Edivir at the table. Is she ever going... Oh, sorry. Are they ever going to learn just to talk to people?
I mean, to be fair, I can't do anything like that. If I could, I'd probably do it more often than might be socially acceptable. So I kind of get it. Also, face-to-face time really isn't my thing. So, kind of.
I love face-to-face time.
How are you? You right?
Are you just eating cheese?
Yeah, and I found these sausages. You can just eat these how they
Oh,
are.
honey, no. And she literally goes forward to grab the sausages. And she goes to the food and she starts making like little breakfast sandwiches. So, like
Put the
egg,
sausages, just put them in bread.
like egg and sausage sandwiches, because she has basic cooking knowledge. She can fry a sausage. That's kind of so she
Nice.
makes sort of egg and bacon sandwiches, and she makes enough for everybody.
Okay.
Silently, sort of
how you
humming a little
feeling?
tune as she's going.
You seem a lot more sprightly today.
Oh yeah, I really needed some sleep, but that was great.
You enjoy it,
It's
yeah?
really comfortable, like really comfortable.
Oh, the bed. I thought you meant the activities of yesterday.
Those were enjoyable too, actually. More
Glad
than
you
I
think
thought
so.
I would.
Sometimes they don't go as well as that does. That did.
That's why we need the word.
That's right. What was it again?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. Cool.
There's a D on the end of it.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, like a board. I'm pretty sure it means it's a type of meat, but it was said at a feast once.
Nice. Well, let's check it out. Maybe we can get one in town. I'm liking. I've got to admit, I've not really been one for pushing out my boundaries too much in culinary endeavors, but that food Virgil made last night was really good. Now, usually I just buy whatever gruel is the cheapest to keep my energy levels up and spend my money on materials. But I don't know, maybe I might. I'm thinking about seeing a little bit more of what this city has to offer in the terms of, like snacks and food and stuff. Broaden my horizons.
We were fed mostly, just stew and gruel, to be fair, unless we were fighting. And then we got a really good meal. So, yeah.
bread with the gruel.
Chuck of meat,
Your opponent.
So I mean, I don't really know much about cooking, and she at that point she does put the breakfast sandwiches on the table. But I mean, I can do a little bit. You should never eat raw meat. It's not good for your stomach. Trust me.
Okay.
Unless it's been cured, which I don't know how they do it, but they make it really hard and salty.
Like dried. Yeah, like dried.
I don't know how to do that.
I've had loads of that.
But that's the only way you should eat raw meat.
Right, okay. I'll take your word for it. I mean, sure.
Good.
At this point, Virgil, kind of backtracking a little bit in time, you also get this message from Kyria, but you also receive I'm going back to bed for half an hour.
Yeah,
Wait a
I was
minute,
going to say Virgil is probably the one who gets that one.
Yeah.
That's fair. Having sort of hearing Kyria's voice in his head and finding it kind of strange that the Raven is coming back so quickly in the morning. Virgil's been up for maybe half an hour at this point, just sort of listening out, waiting. Because I'm going to say prestidigitation can do this, he sort of puts the black on his lips once again and flicks out the cat eyes and starts reapplying all of his gold and finery and sort of takes a look and says, well, if I'm going to die, I might as well look absolutely fabulous doing it. So, I can't just this how to talk, can I? No, right. I need to look. I need to think. Oh, Eddie, what have you done to me? I've become so suspicious. And pulling up his spell book onto sort of the table where he has most of his stuff set out, he's going to draw 2 circles on the desk with his fingernails, and you sort of see the sparks ignite in the table. As he pushes them together and creates the small set of little eyeglasses, he creates a little pair of spectacles as a ritual cast detect magic. And looking around his room for the next 10 minutes. You, like Liana and Edivir, will hear this from downstairs, but you will hear very heavy footfall as Virgil starts just going room to room with these detect magic glasses on, just looking in the rooms, looking in the hallways, in nooks, crannies. At some point, will burst into Kyria's room and just, sorry, darling, I know you're asleep, but I'm looking for something. Possibly. And Virgil is checking for any magic that he wouldn't already assume to be in the area. So not necessarily looking at the magical items that would be on Kyria or in the general vicinity of everyone, but potentially sort of just ones in the corners of rooms, any sort of little flare-ups here and there. He's just looking for signs of magic within this house. He's going to sweep with the 30-foot radius upstairs and then come downstairs and then start looking around the kitchen, the front room area, and just sort of not really giving much attention to Liana and Edivir at the time, but just looking around everywhere, seeing if he can get pings of anything in the house.
As you leave, as you come in and then leave Kyria's room, you just hear this, and you see them like pull the duvet fully over their head and become this cocoon.
Nope. Excellent. Okay. Make me an investigation check, please, Virgil.
Will do.
You've just made me really miss having Arcane Eye.
I am the magic man now.
Kyria,
Yeah.
after the second disruption of your sleep, you kind of like pull the quilt over and roll over, and you know, like in the morning when you roll over to the cold side of the bed and it instantly like shocks you away, you just kind of lay there under the quilt, like cursing everything and everyone in life for a solid like 5 minutes under your breath
This is the
before
most
like
swear words that have gone through Kyria's head ever.
yeah. And then eventually you just kind of like give up your fate and just kind of like boot the quilt off, lie down like on your back, staring at the ceiling. You're like, fine. And
you hear like the massive like clop of hooves as they hit the floor in a strop, and you could just hear like sulkily like throwing on clothes but half asleep still. So like probably come downstairs without my braces, without my suspenders, button like my blouse buttoned completely wrong, just like bare minimum effort been put in, hair all over the place. I just stropped downstairs.
nice. What did you get for your investigation check, Dan?
18.
18. Unfortunately, other than the items that you already know about, you do not find anything throughout the house with that roll, unfortunately.
As Kiri comes storming down the stairs, Edivir just leans over to Liana and just says, I think you two might need to swap beds.
I don't think she's a morning person. I get that, but don't worry.
You all gather
Alone.
within the dining/kitchen area of the house.
As Virgil finishes his sort of whip round of the house, you watch him pull the detect magic glasses off as they sort of just dissipate into spark and sort of melt away in his hands.
Are you looking for something?
Oh, it's just something we were talking about last night. Because Alara gave us this home, and we don't know who is attached to who in what capacity. I was just making sure there weren't any potential listening devices, magical spells for looking, anything like that in any of our rooms and of the house. There doesn't seem to be. I couldn't pick anything up apart from the magic items we have. So,
What about the items Gideon gave us? I mean, we seriously suspect that dude now. Like,
we always suspect him anyway, but I can have another go over them, see if I can pick out something other than the enchantments that are already on them.
I mean, did you look on them? Did you look at them before?
I think we
I
did.
think I did. I think it was Kyria last time.
Oh, okay.
I
That's-
identified them and they were just what they were.
You said the Raven's on his way, right?
With somebody else who's not Pim.
Immediately, my eyes go to Virgil.
Virgil meets the gaze quite quickly and just, well, let's be prepared then, shall we?
I
How
lift
am I
my
meant to be
eyes.
prepared? It's so early.
I put my axe on the table, push the plate of breakfast sandwiches towards Kyria, and start cleaning my axe.
Yeah,
Sulkily starts picking at it.
Didn't you leave your axe soaking in magic stuff overnight?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so I wouldn't have grabbed it. It was already on the table.
Yeah.
I came down. So it is now infused.
Yeah.
Yep, you have
What
a plus
does that
one.
give me?
So roll a d12.
You have a magical magic axe.
You have a plus one axe for the next
10.
14 days.
Hey.
Nice.
Nice.
So the next 2 weeks, you have a plus one magical axe. And it's up to you to keep track of the days, which is why I gave it away.
14 days, yeah?
14 days, yeah. So 14 long rests. Right.
So, Kyria.
Yeah.
Go on. No, go on.
I was just going to say, like, me and Virgil were talking about it yesterday, and I don't know, you've got in my head a little bit because I can't. One thing I can't put my finger on, which really made me suspicious, not all the stuff he's been helping us with, not the amount of times he's come through for us. It was the gravy. That meat water stuff that you made. Gravy, right?
Yes.
No, I know
about
what
the
gravy
gravy?
is. You're just going to have to elaborate on what you mean.
The Raven said that he didn't know what it was either, but from what I know, he's from round here, right? He's not like me. He's not from some camp in the desert. He's a civilized person, right? At least that's the impression I've gotten so far. He knows his way around the city. He knows more about the city than any of us, and some of us have lived here a long time. How the fuck does he not know what gravy is? Did he just say that to, I don't know, relate to me?
That's a fair point. It's not an uncommon thing to have in this. Well, anyway, it's very easily made, very easy to keep people warm.
I don't know. That's just that to me. Just when after what you said, I mean, when he said it, I just thought in passing it was believable because it's not something I've come across much before.
I
But
think
for
he
him,
spends a lot of time alone, though, like alone off doing stuff. So, I mean, if he's raised himself and spent a lot of time alone, he
It's
might
quite difficult to manage getting a single portion of gravy, to be fair. Sometimes you make way too much.
Yes, but even if you have lived on the streets all your life, you still would have heard the term before. Maybe even had it as a drink. It's sometimes something people have as in a cup just to keep themselves warm at night.
he doesn't seem like a man of few resources. He's given us all magical items. He's clearly got some resources behind him. I can't imagine he'd be
He's not giving me anything.
scraping rotten loaves of bread out of the trash every day to eat.
Who's he giving magic items to? He's not giving me anything.
He hasn't given me anything.
Oh, he gave me this. I hold up my arm with the bracelet and flying daggers on it.
Yeah.
I think he gave Kiri the card.
Well, under duress. I mean, it wasn't like a gift. It was a kidnapping and then a subsequent
What's
leaving of an
your
item on a person.
leverage?
So now,
anyway.
out of the people we've met, I don't really think that he's that suspicious. I mean,
That's why.
no.
That's why I think he is.
That's
Kyria, did you hold the card up? In your half asleep form, you kind of like hold it up. It is pulsing at this point, and you just kind of like hold it up. The rest of you around the table see the wings of the raven on the card flapping, and Kyria's just holding it up, half asleep.
Sweet that
your
It's
card's on
doing its
vibrate,
thing.
darling.
I'm gonna go to the door.
Hi, are you all up? You're
Yes.
awake? You're right. Okay, we're nearly there.
Who is the other person?
I wouldn't say they're a friend, but they have information that we might need.
Should we protect our identities? Would have been good to know before.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
Okay.
But like I said, it seems that they have information that might be useful.
Okay. Says they might have information that might be useful.
Raven does.
The person coming with him.
He still
Right.
didn't tell us who that is.
No, not a friend.
Not a friend.
Do you want some morning brown potion, darling? You seem
To be handsome.
exceptionally groggy. I'll get the decaf on. It's fine. Maybe it's where your
I
head's at.
don't want the decaf.
It's good for you.
I don't care.
I think we found out that the calf is actually very good for Kiri.
As Virgil goes to the cupboards to start looking for morning brown potion granules, or the instant stuff if we have the packets. He's just going to look to Edivir and just, do you think we need to prepare ourselves for,
I mean, be as prepared as we always are, I guess.
Well, keep a knife handy.
I always do.
Is there anything anybody would like to do while you wait for the Raven to arrive?
I'm going to make 6 cups of hot brown morning potion for everyone. Even one for the Raven, but not for his guest, because that's
Very good.
That would be 5.
Okay. No, he's making me one as well. Like I am there in and around in this world.
I put him in place when I shouldn't have.
Anybody else want to do anything in this time?
I'm just going to lift my axe and I'm going to stand
Menacingly.
on the back wall of the kitchen / dining room, this table room. We have to get a map at some point, so my head can figure out where we all are. But yeah,
Give it 2 weeks, and Han will have designed it and built it within the Sims.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say I'll get on it for you.
as long as we can load it up in our bed, that's fine. I'm going to lean up against the wall, axe in hand, just with my eye on the door.
Okay. Iria, what are you doing, love?
I think
Trying.
at this point,
my best.
yeah, they're literally like, just like have their head in their hands, just like trying to snap themselves awake because they went to sleep late because they were writing a song, and then now they've been woken early, and so they're just very, very tired and picking at the sandwich that's been kindly made for them, but then sees the fruit bowl on the table and just ends up picking up an orange and then passes the plate to Liana. Just like, I can't really stomach that right now, but thank you though.
Fine.
I'm sorry I'm being groggy. I just feel like I haven't had a proper night's sleep in a very long time.
I think you mean a proper day's sleep.
A proper sleep.
You should try and sleep earlier than you do, you know. It's not good for your internal clock.
There's a clock inside me?
Yeah,
It was a phrase I heard. Like, it's not good for your rhythm. Like,
I've tried over and over again. Moore and Essen would always be like, you should try and get a proper sleeping schedule. You should go to bed at like 10 p.m. at the latest. And I tried, but it doesn't happen.
A mage hand just leaves a cup in front of you.
Thank you. So why not just, use the waking time to my advantage and sleep in? But now I can't sleep in because of you guys.
no, because you're your friend.
Yes, your BFF did wake you up with an early morning call.
I'm in a mood with him right now.
That's fine. We all are.
Trouble in paradise.
Is there anything
out more cups?
Okay. Anything else anybody would like to do in this time? No? Okay. Around 5 to 10 minutes passes as you all kind of collect yourselves, wake up a little more. Kyria on her third, their third cup of hot morning brown potion, just like, no! Intravenous drip!
I've had an idea, so I'm going to go over to where everyone else is, because I was just kind of pacing around a little bit thinking, and I'll go over and I'll just say, Shall I pretend I'm not here and maybe go up on the roof so I can follow them when they leave?
I don't think that's necessary. He's probably going to want to talk to you anyway.
Hmm.
And it'd be hard to explain why you weren't here.
I just said that
I
everybody.
mean, of all the
here.
people, it'd be probably easiest to explain why I'm not here. But
They
Yeah,
didn't
right.
just say that you were here, so.
I said everybody.
right, yeah, no, you're right.
Let's do it as a group, and worst comes to worst, you can go after them afterwards.
Why did you have to? I've been rubbing off on you too much. He says to Virgil.
Well,
Not yet, but in time.
After about 5-10 minutes, you hear doof, doof, doof out the door.
I'll go. And Virgil, just almost with like a quiet step, just comes to the door and just opens it ever so slightly and peeks through the crack.
As you do, you see the image of the raven in front of you, and he goes, "Good morning."
Good morning. Welcome. Coffee's on the table.
Thank you. May I?
Yes, you may.
Excellent.
Where's your companion?
I've round the corner, waiting for me to give them the signal to come. And he kind of steps through the threshold into the house and kind of shuts the door ajar and goes, so I've made an acquaintance at where the druids were. Kind of overheard something about it might be who we're looking for. Don't need to worry. They're harmless, really. It's probably best if they explain, though. Can I bring them in?
Yes.
Yes, you don't have to.
As long as you don't mind us killing them so they don't give our location away, yeah, fine.
I don't think it'll come to that. Sure.
Might come to that.
If you just wait there a second. And he kind of goes to the door, puts his head out and goes, you there? Come on. And kind of
Under their breath as they're sipping this, the third coffee, it's just like, that was fucking subtle.
And you see him kind of like step aside, and in walks this other individual. Miko, if you'd like to turn your camera on and...
You sneaky sumbitch.
If you would like to describe your character, please, Miko.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
What's up?
So, coming from around the corner, just kind of poking their head out along the edge of the door frame, you see what looks to be a helmet with little eyes kind of molded into the helmet itself. A man of sorts, as they kind of lean in, you can see them fully. They appear to be basically synthetic. They are not flesh and blood. They are a full metal figure, male representing, that is very ramshackle in construction, consisting of quite a number of, mostly rusted parts, but there's a lot of patining in the various metals of their body. There's a lot of wear and tear upon their body. There's a lot of dents in various places, a few torn bits here and there. And they seem to have, most noticeably on their front, this like orange piece of leather that looks like it was from perhaps a shirt or something that is like bolted onto the front of them, and that's the extent of their clothes.
Nice.
And they're about just over 5 feet tall. They're not very large. They just in general don't seem intimidating in their demeanor. There's no aggressiveness in their stance or anything, and they have kind of a shy kind of slump to their shoulders, and their head is just a little bit low. You hear clinking and clanking in their movements, and a little bit of strange, like, hissing noises coming from various parts of their body every now and then, and such. And they just kind of step around the corner, standing kind of just in the door frame, just waiting with their hands kind of in front of them. They hold up one hand and say, "Hello."
What is that?
Everybody, this is the acquaintance I just mentioned. These are my friends.
Hi. And Kyria kind of like snapping out of the mood at this like really cool creature that's just come in, the coffee finally hitting them a little bit, just kind of like stands up abruptly, the chair probably knocks over. I was like, hi!
They kind of take a step back almost hesitantly.
I'm sorry. I'm Kyria.
Hello.
You better come in so I can close this door.
Oh. Okay, and just takes a few steps in, and then they seem to reach for the door themselves and close it very softly and gently, trying to be like ever careful about what they're doing.
So
all the questions.
this is look, why don't you? I was with Pim. I'm about to go back to Pim in a moment. He is safe. He's fine. But our friend here, I came across them seeking some form of refuge in the Druidic Circle. They've been... Why don't you tell them all about it?
Yes. There was a druid in the wilds named Aerith. They found me wandering. Yes, that's right. And led me to the circle, where hopefully I might be able to find someone to help. Have you seen this? And he just reaches down into his arm, and like from a contraption, like a small like box basically built into his arm, pulls out a piece of paper, and he holds up this drawn symbol of a skull with a snake. And he just holds it. And he just kind of points at Raven and says, "You know this?"
Edivir like reached out and sort of snatches it as if you would like taking something off like a pin board, like a nail cork board or something like that. Just whips it off, probably ripping a bit that is left in your mechanical hand.
He rapidly lets go of it. As soon as you have any kind of aggressive action towards him, he basically lets go of it. And as you're looking at it, the rest of you see him like reach back into the box, and he pulls out another one and kind of unfurls it slowly.
Where did you find this?
I drew it.
Where?
Memory?
Yes.
Memory
Dream?
from where? Where have you seen that symbol before?
I don't know.
Right.
Okay, we can figure it out.
I need to ask questions.
Virgil, hold on. Just
No, this isn't Virgil. This is me.
What's your name? What should we call you?
I don't know. Ombrin is familiar, but I do not know if that is my name or
Does that
someone
sound
else's.
good for you? Would you like us to call you Umbrin?
Just
if
kind
you
of
think of
shrugs their
anything else,
shoulders.
Let us know and we can change it. But for now, we'll call you Umbrin. And if that makes you uncomfortable, let us know.
While Kira is trying to let this sort of put this little guy at ease a little bit, Edivir just kind of walks over and just places like a couple of fingers on the Raven's elbow and just sort of turns him.
Yeah. And he kind of
away
like
from the rest of
turns.
the group. Yeah. I thought you were bringing us answers.
Maybe. Yeah. I think there's threads that need to be pulled here. Look, they've seen, whoever this is, they've seen that symbol before. And that could be the... Ombren, why don't you tell them what happened yesterday that you told me in the Druid Circle?
Yes. I was walking down the street. People were looking strangely at me. It was awkward. I didn't like it. But I didn't know where else to be walking, so I did. And a carriage seemed to not notice me. Almost crushed me. Was somewhat scary, but as the carriage drove away, I saw the symbol, and he kind of holds up the new piece of parchment.
And that's when the eye, like the raven's eyes, lock to yours, Edivir, and he goes,
Yeah.
I don't know why this is a memory, but I know this memory from something.
So that wasn't the first time you'd seen that symbol. It was familiar to you in that instance.
Yes. It is strange. I remember Aerith. Aerith was very nice to me. They are a good friend, I think.
The druid.
My first friend. But the symbol, and he kind of folds up the parchment or rolls it up and puts it back in his arm. I don't like it. There's something painful in my memory about it.
Virgil, I can see you almost shaking with anticipation to start into those questions, so I'll give you your time in a minute. All I need to know is, Ombren, do you think you can show us where you saw this cart? And do you think you could remember which direction it was going in?
I followed them.
You did?
Yes. Middle City. Warehouse. Western side. Towards the outer limits. Not many people. It was kind of nice. But then some people saw me and did not like me, and so I ran.
Okay, this is good stuff. Virgil?
Well, before Virgil asks, no, I'm joking, brother. You crack on. I'm just messing with you.
It's fine. I'm used to it by now. You carry on. You do your game, Dan. No. So, just through general study and reading, this is what do I know of constructed beings and their rarity, how much they, just in general, like how rare a thing are we looking at right now? Because this is a construct.
A very, very, very rare thing. Rare enough to know that you've never read anything about constructed humanoids.
At all.
And this is
like an arcane sense.
This is groundbreaking.
Right.
None of you have ever seen a creation like this before. None of
Right.
you have seen an entity like this before, come across anyone like this before. Ever.
That's all I needed to know. Now I can really wind the key and fucking go.
Let it fly, baby. Let it fly.
How
He's
are
not
you?
haystack anymore.
I'm great. That's not what I asked.
I know. How are you?
Look, yeah, sort of watching everyone interacting with. You're right there, Kiri. Ghosts.
Fly.
watching everyone interacting with what is essentially a constructed person that is talking and moving and walking amongst them as if normal. Virgil's kind of sat on the back of the sofa, like agape at this being that is before them, and sort of looks to everyone with mild shrugs, like, sorry, am I the only one grasping the situation? This is a constructed individual with memory and the ability to move, and none of you find this at all fascinating or remotely surprising.
Pending.
I mean, I find
It's
it
surprising. Everyone's surprising.
find it surprising, but I don't really know what is surprising to everyone else around here, so I just assumed this was normal.
Constructs are ridiculously rare, beyond the point where any one person can normally make them. Even I've never studied them. They don't come up in magical textbooks. They're not in Arcana. This is beyond anything I've seen ever. And you just found him wandering in the world, Mr. Raven. I don't know why I called you Mr., but I'm in shock.
Mr. the Raven.
I will let it slide, and I kind of liked it.
As they've all been talking, Leanna's been making her way around the edge of the room towards Oberyn, and as she gets to beside/behind him, she just gently pokes him to see if he feels it. Like
he just kind of leans forward in response to the poke, and you hear like some gas vents and stuff pop in his legs. It just kind of leans back, and then his head like turns 180 degrees behind to look at you. Hello.
Oh, okay. This is weird.
Oh, good. So we're all finally on the same page.
Umbrin, apologies.
As you say this is weird, Umbrin's head kind of lowers and seems to retreat into his shoulders a bit.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. Sorry, I've never...
Not weird, just different.
I've never met any person like you before.
I've never met anyone like you before.
Oh! Well, that we have in common. And she quite enthusiastically puts her paw out and then kind of moves round you.
Yet his torso just kind of twists on his hips, and his head recorrects, and he reaches out a hand.
Leanna, this is fascinating.
Mr. Raven sort of steps forward a little bit and goes,
Mr. the Raven.
Mr. the Raven.
Government name, please.
Mr. the Raven steps forward and goes, look, I'm sure all five of you have much to talk about, but we have a little halfling man that, if left alone for too long, is probably going to do some stuff that, can I leave Ombrin here in your care, and I'll head back and collect Pym and come and meet up with you later on today?
I'd be happy to see him. Have you learned anything? And she's struggling to like take her eyes off Ombrin, but have you learned anything about his condition?
Oh, yeah. We haven't got all the answers, but essentially this is... It's a conversation for another time, Leanna. Let's just tackle one thing at a time. But good news, it's not terminal.
For him or for anyone else?
I believe it for anyone. And there is ways out of it. We'll talk about it more when I get back.
There's nothing I didn't say yesterday. As Virgil sort of like comes in on Ombrin and starts like pulling bits and moving stuff.
Virgil.
And kind of you see the like Mr. the Raven step in between you and Ombrin and just kind of like place his hand on your chest and just looks at you dead in the eyes and goes, "Yes, it's all very fascinating, but if we could stop the show and tell bit and the pointing and the poking and the... Look, Umbrin, this is all very fascinating for my friends here, and like I said to you, you're an extremely unique individual. They're just curious. They mean no offense, and they're good people, though. They're good people. They'll do what they can to help you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Umbrin, I'll be back shortly. You can trust these people.
We'll take care of him. Don't worry.
And he pulls out another card and just kind of hands it to you, Umbrin, and goes, "If you need me, though, just come and give me a shout, and I'll come and get you. All right?"
He reaches out and takes the card, and he tucks it into another pocket on one of his arms.
Curious looking to make sure if that one's nicer or not.
Perception check.
Yours was a queen.
Two. Do you know what? As it moves swiftly through hands and into it definitely didn't look as frayed on the edges.
Two.
Strike two.
We'll take things from here.
Yeah. And he kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder, Edivir, like as if to like, just see me out, would you? And he begins to walk to the door, leaving Umbrin, Liana, and Kyria and Virgil.
Umbrin kind of seemingly without even thinking about it moves to the door and like opens it and holds the door open for him, like bows his head ever so slightly.
He kind of goes to he goes to like do the thing where he goes to pat you on the shoulder and just goes just walks out the door.
Eddie turns to Kiara and just says,
"Who's Kiara?"
Kyria. Why do I keep saying that?
Kiara. I don't know. It's that weird person.
Do I know anyone called Kiara? I do.
My backstory.
It looks at Kyria and just says, "Make sure Virgil doesn't pull his arms off."
I will.
You see Umbrin's eyes kind of like the centers of them round out and open really, really wide.
Come sit down. And I just kind of like, I'm like, while I jumped up to like say hi and I was going to go for a hug, but then I saw how like nervous he was. I took a step back, and so I haven't actually been around him at all. So I just kind of gesture to like the sofa, because I think we're in like that main entryway point, and just pat next to me on the other side of the sofa, giving him some distance, but that's it.
Umbrin like closes the door behind those that left and starts slowly walking over. You notice that he gives Virgil a very wide berth. He actively does not get closer to Virgil, seeming to shy away from him
every step of the way. Like,
do you eat or drink? We have some sandwiches or some morning brown potion. We have stuff.
Do not. I have sandwiches, and he like goes to his other arm, and almost like a toaster like effect. Like you hear this, and like a breakfast sandwich pops out of his arm, and he holds it out. Are you hungry?
Oh, that's fast. No, we've already eaten, but that's so cute.
Okay, and you see him like tuck it up under his torso, and you hear this like a compression, like compactor type thing in his torso.
Nice.
Sorry.
Ediviv, so go on, you finish.
No, I was going to say, as Umbrin does this, Virgil literally sits directly in front of him on the coffee table, like head in hands, just looking and watching intently at Umbrin. And then I will deconstruct him while those two are outside chatting.
Cool. So I'll follow Mr. the Raven outside, and like as the door sort of shuts behind me, I'll just lean up against the door with my arms crossed.
You see the Raven keeps his back to you for the first moment or two, as he kind of looks down the street both ways, and you see his eyes like dart and like up to the rooftops everywhere, just head on a swivel, then just kind of turns to you and goes, "Well, this is good news. We have a lead. I will go and get Pim, and I'll meet you there."
Meet us at the warehouse, you mean?
Yeah, I assume that's where we're going next, right? We have to. I mean, unless you had other plans.
We had a couple of other leads we were chasing down, but I think
Oh yeah? Like what?
This one has taken precedent.
What were your other leads?
Just wanted to cross a few T's, dot a few I's that were left swinging previously.
Okay, well, if I can help, just ask.
No, you've already given us enough help for today. You've got stuff you need to be getting on with as well.
I hope that isn't the case. You know, if we're heading over to this warehouse, it might be difficult. You know?
No, you're right, and we'd appreciate Pim there as well. So we'll take the backup, but the investigation we can handle for now.
No, of course. I'll go get Pim. Just look, be gentle. He kind of gives me this air of naivety, and a little bit, maybe this. I mean, I've asked him a few questions, but I don't think the memory's quite there yet. We need to fix that.
Out.
Yeah. All right. I'll go get Pim. All right.
Sure.
You okay?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. And he just kind of like spins on his heels and starts just walking off up down the street.
I stay there and
Yep.
watch him walk away for a while.
He takes
My
around.
eye is narrow.
Yeah, he takes about 5 or 6 steps and then turns and goes, "It's okay not to be, you know. Many of us aren't." And then just turns again and carries on up the street.
Don't worry about me.
And he just kind of like waves behind his head and like throws the hood down, and you just see him like just as the hood gets down, just sprints off down one of the side alleys, and then you just hear the caw of a raven's call.
Edivir turns around to re-enter the house, realizes he locked himself out. Shakes the door a little bit and then knocks.
Probably
There's a knock at the door. Ombrin just kind of like stands up and starts walking almost unconsciously towards the door.
You open the door, Edivir steps through back into the property, leaving the 5 of you in the main living area of this house.
Thank you, Ombrin. That won't be necessary from now on. Sometimes we have guests that we're not expecting and are not
And then
welcome.
we slammed the door in their face, and I turn to Virgil. I give him a massive smile.
Ombrin kind of like recoils a little bit at that notion and just seems confused and like very, very gently and quietly closes the door.
Well, everyone all right?
I have a billion questions and about 5,000 things I want to do, but other than that, I am absolutely phenomenal.
Well, our new friend here is showing himself to be a vital part of our investigation, so let's not make him feel uncomfortable.
Can you feel uncomfortable, Ombrin? Do you have that capacity?
Just looks at him and just gestures to him.
Yes? Can you?
Yes, but it's far more interesting that you can. Who
Why?
made you? Where are you from?
I do not know how to answer that question.
Because you don't know where you're from, or because you don't understand?
I understand.
It's okay if you don't know.
There's
It's
lots of
okay not
things
to
we
know
don't
things.
know. Don't worry. But we're more concerned with what you do know. Do you think you could take us to this warehouse now?
Oh, yes. Perhaps 12,000 steps, give or take, depending upon, and he starts looking at your feet.
Well, I'm 6'8", so I am literally towering over you, even if you weren't sitting down.
Less steps for you.
Okay.
11,622 or so.
Well, it said west of this western middle city, which is where we already are, so it can't be too far from here.
Yes.
Okay. Should we wait for the Raven and Pim, or should we just go?
Or maybe let's go and get the lay of the land, unless you want me to. We could. I'll tell you what. Why don't we go look into one of the first leads that we were going to look into today, anyway, i.e., what the attack on the upper city was actually targeting. That might give the Raven and Pim a little bit of time to catch up, so that we're not all going in there before they arrive.
That would mean going into the upper city, right?
Yeah, that might be a bit trickier than.
Well, the newspaper in the upper city is the same newspaper in the middle city.
We can keep an eye out for the newspapers.
Also, not to put too fine a point on it, but we can't just walk around with Ombrin following us. Again, this could possibly be one of the greatest discoveries of this century.
You can have my cloak, as long as you don't mind me giving it away that you've just given it to me.
Why don't you keep the cloak? I might be able to help with Umbrin.
We can figure something out. Easy.
Okay. I'll keep the cloak.
Umbrin, that's a very fine scrap of leather you have bolted to yourself there. Would you mind if we dressed you in something else to make you a little bit more inconspicuous?
Will that be better for you?
Well, it might be better for you as well, because you said that people were looking at you weirdly, and then you got scared, and you felt quite upset by people judging you. Sometimes it's easier just to pretend to be somebody else, or look a different way so you don't get judged.
Okay.
And you feel fear. You know what it is to be scared of things.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Is this strange?
For us, no. For you, potentially. I don't know. I've never met a constructed individual before, and the fact you have a range of emotion is incredible. I could sit here asking you questions all day, to be honest. Where were you walking from? How did you get here? What was your last known place of memory before you just started wandering this?
I think these are questions we can answer on the move. I think now that we're all up and fed and caffeinated, we should probably get going.
I mean, if we're talking about today's agenda, personally, I think if we're going to the factory or whatever it is Ombrin here knows of, it should probably be our prime location. Wandering around as a group, trying to follow leads that may not lead anywhere with, again, a constructed individual might lend to more problems than it solves.
Ombrin.
That's what I said, Ombrin.
Said constructed individual.
You know what I mean. I can't help it. I don't...
What pronouns would you prefer us use to refer to you as? You know, how in a conversation...
Pronouns.
Yes, so... He, she, they, it, whatever you want. I'm just conscious we don't want to keep referring to you as the constructed individual.
Oh. Interesting. I do not know.
Okay. Well,
We'll try a few out and see what sticks.
see what sticks.
Okay. What do I call you? And he points at Kiri.
Kyria.
Kyria. And then his eyes kind of drift over to Virgil, and his finger more slowly drifts towards him.
You can call me Virgil.
Virgil. And then he looks towards Edivir.
Dag.
Dag. Liana.
Yes. Good memory.
No.
Neither.
Good point.
Sorry.
All right. Well, Kiri, what did you have in mind? My means of disguise are a little bit more practical than I imagine yours are. But...
Oh, mine was going to be pretty basic. Basically, just, dress up like a person.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what I had, but I've got a few materials that might help with that.
I was thinking that because this is not me, your face somewhat looks like armor in general. So just make everything look like armor.
Like
Like
a
a person
person
wearing
in a suit
armor.
of armor. That, yes.
And I could potentially disguise myself as someone who looked noble or something like that, so that could be my bodyguard.
All right, well, let's get to work
Why
on
we
it
have
then.
someone heavily armored? It's
Do
not
you
the most
have
creative idea.
clothes that would make you look normal? No, noble? That was
I
a
don't-
genuine slip of the tongue. She really did say that.
Do you have clothes that make you look normal?
No.
Nope.
I don't. No, I can just do my thing.
Oh,
your
your
thing.
magic thing, yes.
Ombren, this has been a whirlwind of
Ombren is very, very shaken at this point.
What's going through like your mind? Like, what are you feeling right now? How is Ombren in this moment?
Outwardly, Ombren looks like a lost child in a lot of ways. Ombren doesn't have a mouth. I didn't clarify that earlier. There's this like metallic slit down the center of his face that has a couple of vents in it that whenever he talks, it's almost like a musical instrument, like sound going through reeds almost, and that's where his voice comes from. His eyes are fairly expressive. They're very, very round, and they open and contract very broadly. And that's like the extent of his expressions. And everything about him right now seems to be him like trying to just pull himself into himself to be as small as he possibly can. And just in the tenor of his voice and all of his outward appearance, you can very plainly see that he is just lost and uncomfortable and doesn't know what to do. Kind of like if you've ever been to a party where you literally know not a single person at that party, that's just kind of the demeanor that he has at the moment.
I think as kind of conversations going back and forth and Ombren's a bit, in on himself and they're really quiet and clearly looking lost. And also kind of the allusion to all of the like times it's been referenced that they don't have a good memory. Kyria is going to just silently message into Ombren's mind so that it's not made a big spectacle. I was like, it's just me. I can communicate telepathically like this. It's okay that you don't know what's happened, and it's okay that you don't know who you are. I don't really know who I am either. And I'm sorry that this is a lot, but it's okay. We'll take our time with it. It'll be okay. We'll help you.
The rest of you can see Ombren plainly looking at Kyria, not trying to hide this, just because he doesn't know any better. And he starts to communicate audibly, but then seemingly instinctually understands the magic and then responds mentally, okay. Will my presence be dangerous for you?
Don't think so. Not if we take the proper precautions. And what's life without a little bit of danger?
Pain?
Well, yes, but it can also be fun. I'm learning that. It can be fun, but scary, and sometimes it's better than just not doing anything.
Okay.
But it'll be okay. We'll make sure that you don't come to any harm and we don't come to any harm.
I just don't want to cause you risk with my presence.
Well, let's do a risk analysis then. So, basically, the pros, the strengths of you coming with us, you know where we're going. We can easily disguise you, keep you by our side, and, new friends. The risks, yes, if your disguise is lost, then it might be a bit of disturbance, but we have ways of mitigating that. Okay, so like Virgil and I have this thing we can do where we can disguise what people see, we can hide it from plain sight. It's all fine. We have a lot of contingencies. We are very skilled individuals. So, personally, I think the pros outweigh the cons.
Okay.
Seeing this intense eye contact that they're both obviously making, I just lean into Virgil and goes, I think they're having a conversation.
I think they are as well, and the fact that it works on Umbrin is just more fuel to this fire. I don't think they've quite realised that they've been staring at each other for about a minute and not said anything to each other. We know what they're doing, but you don't realise what this means, Liana. Genuinely, this is incredible.
Virgil,
I'm often in that situation, so that's fine.
Edvir comes down the stairs with various garments that he's stolen from all of your rooms. And there should be something here we can use. It's mostly curious stuff, to be honest, but you're about the right height.
I don't have any trousers.
I think
Well,
Are trousers important?
I don't think so.
Not for you, no, but
No, they're not.
for most people, yeah, very much so.
As this is going on, Virgil's just going to start doing a very small circle around Umbrin as everyone's trying to dress them up and figure out how they want to disguise this little robot person. I'm investigating for symbols, anything that looks arcane in nature, something distinctive on this thing.
Maker's mark.
Okay, make me an investigation check, please.
Yes, I will.
while he's having a little look at them, I'm gonna ask. So, just in case, we often get into a bit of scrap. Can you fight?
I can defend. Is that the same thing?
Yes.
We can take
Then
it.
yes.
And do you do this with weapons or with, like, Virgil? He uses magic.
I do not understand.
Do you use one of these? I'll unsheath my scimitar.
Or
Or anything similar.
like an axe or a shield, or are you like a punchy guy, or are you a spells, magic, boom guy?
Kind of holds out his right arm, gesturing it halfway in between Liana and Dag, and you see his hand curl up into a fist and then like splay out into like 5 different portions and retract into his forearm, and then launching out of his forearm you see a hammer pop out of his forearm.
Nice.
That I like. That okay. Me and you are gonna get on. Hit things with a hammer. That I like.
Interesting method of concealment
Okay.
as well.
I wish I could. And she just kind of gestures to her hand and her axe, and she's like, "Yeah, that would be very cool."
I mean, Liana could do that, but like once. Like,
Stick the axe in the stump.
I mean,
So
the
it's-
closest thing I have to that, and she then just like brings out her claws. I have those, but yeah, they're not a hammer.
He just
Um,
kind of, and when you're looking at the hammer, it looks more like a blacksmith's hammer, like a tool,
Yeah.
as opposed to an actual weapon. Obviously, you can still kill somebody with it, but like it looks more like a functional tool than something that was purposeful built as a weapon. And he just kind of retracts it back into his body, and then he reaches out to his left arm and like pops open a little panel, and he starts pulling out little tiny vials of liquid and says, "I also have this." and you can see that it's like this volatile little liquid with little sparks kind of running through it, and he puts it back in and says, there are things that are part of my function that I can defend people with.
I would love to see you do that.
I don't like it.
Oh,
You'll learn.
okay. Obviously, his reluctance.
In response to "you'll learn," you visibly see him like wilt.
Oh.
Can with Kiria's creative and fashionable know-how, I don't have a disguise kit, but I have proficiency with disguise kits.
Mm-hmm.
Could I use that sort of skill to try and disguise this robot as well as I possibly can with Kiria's help?
Sure. So you can, yeah. So make me a proficiency check with your disguise kit at disadvantage because it's the first proper roll that you've had since the phone. So it's with disadvantage, but then Kiria's helping, so you can have a straight roll.
With guidance.
With guidance. Which is D4,
Ombrin,
D4.
Ombrin, for what it's worth, is also assisting in that you see his hands turn into like scissors and like stitching tools, and
that's actually quite useful. Cheers.
he starts like you tell him something needs to be tighter here, and he like starts custom fitting it to be more appropriate to sit on his body, and like puts in like little hooks and loops so that it can like latch on to metal pieces and things like that.
Nice.
Okay. So with guidance. D4, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 9 plus 3, and then just plus proficiency, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay, so 12 plus 2, 14.
14. With the help of Kiria and Ombrin, obviously fashioning it to his the shape of his body, you do make a rather fitting disguise. I'll let you describe what you've just made out of it.
So it's almost like Vivi from Final Fantasy IX.
Nice.
like a very sort of like almost felty, almost Hessian sack little jacket, which we've stitched together. It's kind of patchy and multicolored. A very wide brimmed hat that hangs quite low. Not a pointed hat, like maybe a point that's kind of curled and folded over, almost like a bedtime hat, like a pajama hat kind of thing, but with a wide brim, and gloves, big thick woolly gloves as well, which I probably pinched from Pim's pack.
Nice. Excellent. So
stretched over these large metallic hands. You won't be able to use those again.
So yeah, you get adequately disguised, Ombrin.
He just kind of stands there, his arms like at a 45-degree angle out to the side, standing there in front of everybody, stiffly, just kind of like looking at each of them in turn.
A thumbs up.
Think that'll work.
High five.
Here you go.
And I'm like going to high five Ombrin and Edivir. Kind of like
both of them ignore you.
Central three-way high five.
Nice. Excellent. So, for the sake of brevity, unless there's anything important that anybody else wants to do before you leave the property out into the middle city. No? Excellent. You gather all of your necessary belongings, everything you need for the day ahead. You all step out onto the streets of Windmere, and you lock the door of the property behind you. I would assume that it's somebody with somebody else other than Kiria holds onto the key.
100%.
Fine, yeah.
I lock the door behind us.
Yep, sure. And you set off into the middle city. We are going to take a quick break here. We'll take a break for about 15 minutes. We'll come back at about 5 to 8, give or take a minute or two. So go get yourselves a drink, go get yourselves refreshed, all the rest of it, and we will be back very shortly. Before we
go, I just want to give the audience a little peek behind the scene. Dan had Miko's chat as Dan's iPhone for the entire time we were here, and he was like, "I'm just trying some back end stuff with the call software."
And
don't worry
everyone,
about
all
it."
right.
Yeah, 100% bought it.
Accepted it.
We're hook, line, and sinker, 100%. So, oh man, when that came up, I absolutely jumped for joy. That was incredible.
That was great.
All right.
You're 15.
Love that. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone, back to Tales on Tap. Thank you so much for joining us and sticking with us through the break. Guys, we've just ventured off into Windmere and the Middle City in search of for a warehouse. That's fun.
Yay!
A
That's
whole warehouse.
good.
Oh, warehouse.
So you guys head off in the
Where the
general
warehouse?
direction of said warehouse.
I'm going to point out that we are trying to be inconspicuous, as needs to be said.
Okay.
Cloak up.
As
trying
long as we're not trying to be
blend
stealthy, because it is going to be plainly obvious to everyone that Umbrin is not.
in. Yeah,
I think-
not stealthy, just trying to blend in. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think on our way there, Edivir would have just sort of gone down to Ombrin and just says, when we start getting close, don't just take us right up to the front door and open the front door for us. That won't be necessary. But just let us know when we're within eye shot, and then one of us can get a little bit closer and have a look at what we're dealing with.
Okay.
Hold on.
Is there anything anybody would like to do while heading over to towards this warehouse?
I am gonna be disguised. I'm not gonna disguise as a noble because I don't want to stand out too much, but kind of upper middle class, kind of look quite snooty. So got kind of like bit of like, I don't know how to describe snooty when how I'd visualize that, like without offending anyone.
An air of arrogance.
An air of arrogance for sure. Slightly older, I think. Probably like an old woman who's like very slim, is kind of like clearly very in touch with her belongings. It does not want anyone to come near and will like glare at anyone who so looks in her direction, and is basically like using Ombrin as like essentially like, you know, I know he's not in armor, but like kind of like an entourage slash bodyguard type of situation to help him blend in further by creating a bit of a scene.
Okay.
Yana will probably fall into step behind her as well, being so large, given that sort of bodyguardy sort of position as well.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think
I'm kind of
You go.
I'm kind of on the other side of the road,
Mm-hmm.
kind of trying to appear separate from those, and I am probably not sneaking, but trying to be stealthy in the sense that to not draw attention, and to sort of be slipping behind on the other side of people who may turn their heads to look at this other group.
Okay.
Virgil is probably on the back end of sort of where Dag would be positioned up front. Virgil is in the back, keeping an eye on things from behind, but also just blending in with the middle city as he would do naturally, and just in his sort of normal, fancy-looking ways. Keeping an eye out for sort of guard any, looks that come our way that are very intense, but keeping to the paths we're taking, that kind of jazz. Just following in step, but a couple of feet behind.
Okay. No problem. Umbrin. Roll me
I
a
think
his-
Umbrin is very focused on like leading the path, at least from what everyone else can see, taking them on the most direct path to the warehouse with as little deviation as possible. But anyone that is perceptive enough might notice that in his hands he's almost like fidgeting with a chunk of rock, and he is using his fingers to like physically break off pieces of the rock, and then magically those pieces are mending back into the rock in like different spots. He's like shattering it and then magically mending it back together in a different form, and seems to be almost like molding this bit of rock in his hands. And it's like almost like someone walking down the street with a fidget spinner, sort of situation. That's kind of his version of that.
Oh, he has
Excellent.
anxiety.
He does.
Yeah.
He very much does.
And then one other thing, Dan, I'm also looking out for anyone who I see clock us and then move away. So anyone who I consider might be like some kind of lookout or anything like that, because I'm, from my experience, know that a lot of these gang places, they have like orphans on lookout and stuff like that, or beggars on lookout.
Okay.
So I'm just looking for anyone who clocks us and then moves in the direction of where we're going.
Okay, no problem. Perception check from yourself. I'll have a history check from you, Umbrin, please, to see if you accurately remember the directions back to the warehouse.
I
Okay.
only got a 10 on the perception.
Okay.
Total of 19.
19. Yeah, so you're very much like retracing your steps, almost like replaying the memory of this journey, like in your head, and then catching up a few steps and replaying it and making sure that any turn or anything you're well on track for where you need to go. Edivir, on the opposite side of the road to everybody else, you do not see anybody paying you any particular mind. A couple of passers-by do catch your eye a little bit, but nobody seems to like look wide-eyed and then dart off down the road or anything. It seems that people aren't really paying too much attention to you. After around 20 to 25 minutes of walking through the middle city towards the most westerly point of the city, Umbrin, you know that around the next corner is where the cart disappeared off into one of the properties that you were following.
Okay. I think he would just stop before reaching that point and start looking around for Dag.
Okay.
Does he see Dag? How stealthy is Dag being in this?
It's one of those things, like to the naked eye, he's pretty invisible, like moving in between shadows and what have you. But it's one of those weird things that once you spot him once, it's very easy to kind of like pick him out again on that route. It's very much like if you weren't looking, you'd never see him. But kind of you do spot him a few meters away from you to the other side of the road.
And he's probably spotted you stop moving as well.
I think he just starts walking towards Dag because he doesn't know any better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of put a hand on their shoulder. It's like, I got this. Dag,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're nearly here. You want to subtly rejoin us?
Okay, I do so.
He's on his way.
Okay.
And sort of see Dag step out from behind someone as they walk past you guys. So we're here.
Around this corner.
How
Unless-
public is this area? Is there lots of foot traffic? Are we on like a main thoroughfare? What?
So, you are not on a main thoroughfare. You have entered into quite an industrial-ish area of the city. Not much in terms of foot traffic. There are the odd person here and there, but it's not like the centre near the markets where a lot of footfall is. It's very much industrial estate. You'll see that a lot of the people that are coming and going in this area look like factory workers, very much in overalls, coal under the eyes, type of individuals with the metal lunch boxes and that walking up, back down the road as
Hard
if
hats.
Yeah, and the time of day it is right now, it is morning. It is early morning, so you automatically assume that these are these types of people are heading in and into this area for work purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Well, if anyone else has anything they want to do, I was gonna sneak up on ahead and see what I could find out from the outside.
Do you want help with that? I mean, if you take one side, I can take the other side.
I'd move a little bit quieter and more stealthy on my own, but if you want to take another,
stealthy.
You to an extent.
I have advantage on stealth, so shut up.
You're 6'8".
I don't know what that means.
And a big
May I ask-
white lion lady.
Yeah, you're a big 6'8" white lion. But
May I ask a question?
Sure.
This
think
is
that was a
Aaron talking.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
What is the significance of this symbol? And he goes to his arm, he starts lifting his sleeve to retrieve
as soon
the
as you
thing.
go to put it out, I put a paw, and I'm like, not here.
Right.
We believe it to be a symbol connected to some very bad people who are doing some very bad things in the city.
Have you experienced Flux?
No.
Does the name ring any bells?
Perhaps. I do not know.
It's a very bad drug that makes people very angry and causes them to cause a lot of problems. We've seen this symbol on the device that administers this drug. But that, she wouldn't say that.
I was going to say, that's a good word.
On the object that has the drug in it.
It's safe.
There she is.
Well, sometimes it's hard playing a dumb character.
God, curse this intelligence of mine!
My brain is too big.
So we don't know if it's a company logo or a symbol of the Flux. We're not too sure.
Either way, it's connected to it. So if you've seen it here, likelihood is whoever is operating out of here has some connection to some very, very bad things, which we are trying to stop.
I just had a thought. So, you said that this wasn't the first time you've seen this symbol, that you kind of remembered it almost? You recognized it?
Yes. Yes. Before I met my friend Aerith, I have memories of falling and of seeing this symbol and hurting, lots of hurting.
You feel pain.
Oh yes. And he starts to reach back to part of his shoulders, and you see him lift his shoulder and there's a hitch in his shoulder right now. Oh yes.
So were you doing the hurting or was someone hurting you?
No. Yes. I do not hurt people unless very needed. Defending only.
Are there more of you?
I don't know.
Should find that out, because that would be very cool.
Okay.
And sorry, I can't tell myself. Where did you fall from exactly? From what?
I don't know.
Did you fall?
Are we talking out of a window or are we talking off a skyship? How
just on
long?
the
How long
ground.
did you fall for?
Oh. Very long.
Days,
Could've been
weeks,
from us.
months? What does that mean?
If I can extrapolate based on parameters associated to the crater in which I crawled from, I would estimate it to be a great distance.
Nice.
So not a window then.
I would say more skyscraper.
I saw no windows above me in the forest.
You fell into the forest.
Many broken tree branches above.
Right.
That's probably why you survived.
Probably very lucky.
Not a lot of people who fall off skyships do.
Ooh, not a lot of people are made of metal.
Okay, so are we scouting?
Well, I'm gonna head up and scout. If any of you guys want to do anything as well, now's probably the time. Meet back here in 10 minutes. Kiri, do you think now might be a good time to see how the Raven's getting on with Pim?
Virgil, I'd like
Yes.
to make me an Arcana check, please.
Okay.
And then
Arcana.
yeah, and then I just want an intelligence check aside it as well, please.
Just a straight intelligence check.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm smart too. Can I roll?
Yeah.
Arcana is
Sure.
17.
17. I'd like you to roll me an insight check though, please, Kyria.
For fuck's sake.
And then straight intelligence.
Yes, please.
That's a 15.
15. Okay. As you're asking Ombrin these questions, you get the general sense that there's no like point that you get the sense that they are refusing to give you information. There is just some circuitry maybe that's just not quite connected. There is something actively stopping them from being able to provide you with these answers, and it's not you. You get the sense that it's something systemic within them, their being, rather than like amnesia, for example.
Stop questioning the new guy. I get it. That's fine.
No, it's not that. It's just I'm trying to give you a general sense. Kiri, what did you roll?
1.
So, is there anything anyone else wants to do in Kiri, you pretty much are you're seeing a lot of like a reflection of the sort of feelings that you get and have felt quite often over recent years.
Mhm.
And seeing I wouldn't say it's a battle at the moment, but seeing this kind of toing and froing with Ombrin, it's very much reminiscent of when Moore was like, so where have you been? And you'd be like, I'm no idea.
Yeah.
Type deal, right?
Yeah.
And you get that real sense of familiarity there.
Yeah, definitely. Even with a 1.
Even with a 1. I wasn't gonna, you wanted to roll, I wasn't gonna just give you nothing, man. You may as well have not rolled, but there you are.
As Eddie goes one way around the indicated building, Liana is going to go the other way around the other side of the building.
Yeah, so I'm going to go down the alleyway that Ombrin indicated. Or actually, I'm gonna if I can find, I know it's like the morning rush, everyone's on their way to work. If I can find a discreet area to scale up onto the rooftops, I will do that.
Okay, do you want to scale up onto the rooftop of the warehouse proper, or in the surrounding buildings?
Adjacent, opposite side of the road.
Okay, acrobatics, please.
Well, before Dag and Leanna depart, as they're departing, there was the whole discussion about like Ombrin harming people and all of that. And Dag has, more telling with his eyes. He has this very big expression of concern upon their face, and they reach out and clap Dag's arm, not tightly, but kind of like squeezing the forearm, and says, "Please be careful. If there is danger and you go, I cannot protect you. But take this." And he his finger slides to the side, and a small thin vial pops out, and he puts it into your hand, and he says, the air within this, if you inhale it, will allow you to fly.
Really?
To escape if need be, but the movement is slow. Be careful.
That's very, very kind of you. I know a thing or two about getting out of trouble, but I appreciate your concern. Try not to worry too much. I'll be back shortly. For now, please...
He leans over to Kyria and says, how do you not worry too much?
I'm supposed to keep my head empty.
For
He
now,
doesn't laugh. Sorry, that's me laughing. He
so
just
yeah,
nods like that is like the most sagely advice he's ever heard.
Ooh. Okay, I got 22 on the acrobatics.
So, this section of the city has quite high buildings. They are 3-4 stories high. Warehouses. They're not, they're not small buildings. You do not find any immediately climbable within the very near vicinity of you, but you do manage to find one that is lower and has a lot of like corrugated iron on the walls that has kind of been bent into like where you can grab like semi handholds and footholds and what have you and just start shimmying your way up the wall in between two of these buildings. So you are out of sight, no sight line on you at all as you're essentially like shimmying your way up until you gain access to the rooftops.
Okay, as I get to the top of the rooftops, I'm mindful that there could be other people scouting on the rooftops, so I'll peer over the edge of the roof first, see if there's anyone up there.
Okay, perception check, please.
And for technical reference, the vial that Ombrin gave Dag is an experimental elixir that does give him a fly speed for 10 minutes.
Okay,
Nice.
excellent.
7 plus...
It also,
yeah,
it also goes boom.
That's, dude, when you said volatile liquids, Dag was like, new bombs, new bombs.
No, that's the other arm. That's the other arm.
Yeah, I only just a 10 on that first perception.
10. You don't see anyone in the near vicinity on the rooftops.
So then I'll make my way over to the other side so that I'm looking down on the street that Oberyn indicated the cart went down.
Yeah, so you are across the street from where Ombrin has pointed was the direction of this cart traveling. And you see towards the back end of this this street, the street sort of very, very like right hand turn to the right, but the street narrows ever so much. So there was only so much room that this cart can go down, and you see right at the bottom end is this larger warehouse with these two big double doors on the entrance.
Anyone outside?
No, there is not.
Can I see Leanna anywhere?
No, not from where you are, no.
Okay. I'll begin making my way down towards that warehouse to try and get a better vantage point on entry points, guard patrols, that kind of shit.
Okay, no problem. Leanna, you dart off through an alley towards the front area of this warehouse. You see where the street level is. You've gone down one half level onto the next street alone. You see there is no visible entrance to the warehouse on this side of the building. There are three very large, raw iron barred windows on one front.
Perfect.
And you also then see there is a winch and a sort of crane that lifts things into the top level of this warehouse, but no visible entrance on this side of the property.
Are the windows within eyesight? I mean, are they up, or can I see?
They are. You wouldn't be able to see in them because they are up.
Okay. can I try and how narrow is this passage?
Well, if you join Albert, I will show you.
Maps. I have
Asking
requested.
to join.
I have requested.
Don't know why I'm face spider, but okay.
I'm just
Pretty
moving
cool.
you guys around, and Liana, you are down here.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
DL, this is a big building, isn't it?
A very big building.
Did say warehouse.
Yeah.
So this is the alleyway that I came down.
No, so you came down an alleyway a bit further up off the side of the map.
Okay.
The other side of this building, and you slowly walked up the street here. So, for the people at home, we have Liana down in this bottom corner of the warehouse here. We have Kyria, Virgil, and Ombrin up here on the top side, and on the perch of this property here, you see Edivir on the roof. But this is a rather large map, so for the people at home, we will be darting from side to side, depending on what people want to do. Virgil, Ombrin, and Kyria, you see that the two big double doors are just here. You see, Liana, that the three windows, you have one here, and one here. And like I say, from where you're stood, you can see that this indicator here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, that is a crane that lifts into the property.
These boxes that are on the map here, are they on?
Yes.
Are they there? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I want to get as low as possible and right against the wall. I'm stealthing towards the box. I want to move the box and then stand on the box to see if I can see in the window.
Okay, maybe a stealth check first of all.
Stealth check. Oh, that's great. Plus. Oh, and I get advantage.
Would you get advantage from?
It just says I have advantage on stealth.
That's disadvantage. That's disadvantage on perception checks to see you, not advantage on stealth.
I think it's advantage on stealth in certain conditions, like low light conditions, which this may not qualify for.
Yeah.
I'll sneak up on someone without being heard. Oh, you're right. It is to do with concealing myself.
Yeah.
By the way, it was worse the second time anyway. That is 22.
Okay, what was the worst
Nice.
That
Doesn't count.
was 2 less, so 20. Day 20.
one? Okay, we'll take the dirty 20. That's fine. You managed to...
Decent ass. Okay, go ahead.
You move stealthily enough across there to grab one of the boxes. Roll me a strength check.
Oh, I don't get to make these very often.
Athletics, it'll be.
Athletics. That's 21.
You grab this box full of feathers with one hand and just like almost throw it where you need it to be.
Wow.
Quietly.
I know, right?
Quietly.
Throwing feathers, like
Which
have
is
some respect.
hold on, which is why it was full of feathers, because it launched and then just kind of
The box.
yeah. That's how physics works, right?
Yeah, that's how physics works.
Exactly how physics works.
And I'm going to climb up and peer through the window.
Excellent. How much do you weigh? Liana, not you, Natalie, obviously. I'd never ask you that.
Rude.
160 pounds.
Ooh, on a box full of feathers, this is not going to go well, but you stand on the box.
That's quite light for a 6'8".
For a 6'8",
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're like
cat
skinny as a rod. You're at least 250.
Yeah, gotta be.
Okay, I'm gonna. It's something I just added to the sheet. But okay, we can go closer to 220.
Yeah, mate, I'm 5'9" and 170 odd. So if you're 160 odd at 6'8", I'm fuming.
I'm mostly far. What?
That is true. Like if a rain cloud comes, you will see Liana is thick thin. Like it's all fluff. You stand on the box and start to peer through the window. Make me a perception check, please.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 21.
Okay. It is dimly lit inside, and you see there is one heavily armed individual just kind of walking through these tall shelving units where there is lots of crates and boxes and stuff. And you see that they are wearing what appears to be a respirator on their face. Like a decorating one with the two bloody things on the side.
Okay, so not Flux.
No.
Right,
No.
okay. Do I see the symbol anywhere? Like on any boxes or shelves?
Not with that roll, no.
Okay, and I can only see one person in from where I am.
Yes. You can only see one person from the window you're looking in.
Okay. Okay, then I will. I'll bring the map back up. Climb down. Do I see? Oh, let me move myself. What's there? Oh no, that's the whole map.
Yeah, I don't think we can't move.
Oh, I
ourselves.
can't move me. That's right.
You can now. You can now.
Thank you. Right, so I was looking through that window there. If I peer to here, do I see that there's like a door or anything this way?
There is no door.
No door.
Not that way, no.
Fine, then I'm going to try and scale the crane.
I'll make
The
it.
crane is up at the moment. So,
Yeah.
so it isn't on the ground. So there's nothing to you're looking up, and it is like 20 to 25 feet
I
above
thought
you.
the crane was
the
on
platform.
the street going into the warehouse.
No.
It's
So
from the warehouse out.
Is it like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
winch
yeah.
system?
Yeah.
thing?
So the
It's
crane
in-
is out the top of the building, and will kind of pivot and up and down. It's on the very top floor
It's
of this.
raised right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
winch
yeah.
Right,
system
okay,
that's
I won't
raised.
do that
Yeah.
then, because that would be impossible. I'm going to try and just stealthily make my way around the thing, looking for another door in.
Okay, so you're going to walk all the way back around the building that way, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to just circle the building that way in.
Okay,
Until I
you get to around here,
Right.
and Dag, being above you, would probably sees you there, but all the way around, you see that the only entrance in and out of this building, as far as you can see, is this door. However, you do see that there is a trap door on the ground that looks like it definitely goes somewhere.
Okay. I don't know Dag is up there, do I?
I
think
so.
It's
Dag-
Dag.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I meant like he climbs things.
And I think, and to be fair, I think whilst you were like sort of doing the period, because this is just pretty much the first position I got to, Dag would have been doing the same thing, looking for entrances and stuff. So I think he probably would have seen you coming up this alleyway here.
Yeah.
At which point he might have popped up and just put a hand up.
Right. Seeing you see me, and seeing the hatch.
Reaching out, touching hands.
Touching hands. I'm going to try and mime down the hatch.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
So, Virgil, Kyria,
I was just
and
gonna say, Kyria has likely kept a line of communication open with Edivir this whole time, just occasionally going like, testing, just like, in case he needed to message me anything.
Check in.
Like, testing, check in.
Yeah, so Dag would have probably responded like one entrance on the street, one trapdoor leading to potential basement, no guards on the exterior. Oh, there's Liana.
And then I will switch to Liana. Eddie says that there's one trapdoor, one main door, no guards so far. How about you?
Yes. There are no guards around the back. There's a couple of windows. One person I saw inside with a breathing mask, not Flux mask. But there is no back door as such, though there is this hatch just here. It might be a sneak your way in, then going through the front door.
Back to Edivir. So the hatch, there's no entrance around the back, but Liana says that the hatch is probably the best bet. There is one individual with a mask inside.
Right.
Not a flux mask.
What did you just say?
Not a flux mask. Not a flux mask.
Not a flux mask. I say what I said.
Edivir replies, yeah, Liana seems keen to go in the trapdoor, and I'm inclined to agree. So if you guys are done over there doing whatever you guys want to do, let's rendezvous at the trapdoor.
Okay. Roll back. See the three of us just standing while these guys do that.
Let's go do that.
Okay, so Umbrin, if you do not have to fight unless you are physically harmed. I understand that you only want to defend if you absolutely have to. There is never any pressure to do anything that you don't want to do. We can handle it if needs be. Obviously, assistance would be amazing, but sometimes we get into quite risky situations, and we are doing our best to find as many answers as we can. And you've been a key piece in that puzzle, so thank you.
Okay.
Cool.
You're welcome. Is danger apparent now?
I think we're going into a place where not many people will want to see us there. So we have to be on guard.
Okay. And he flexes his arm out and the hammer pops out. You hear several metal bits in his body reorienting themselves to form proper armor and such, and you notice that there is a slightly red tinge around the outside of his eyes.
Ah, yes. Love that.
Nice.
Oh.
Rory?
That'll do.
And he just kind of steps in front of Kyria as in a protective demeanor.
Okay. Virgil,
Mm-hmm.
I know you... I also have quite a few questions, but quite honestly, I'm used to not having answers, but are you okay?
I'm as good as can be for saying where we are. Why?
Yeah, I just wanted to check.
Yes. Yeah, I'm okay.
I just spontaneously give him a hug.
Are you okay?
I'm
This is
okay.
rather off the cuff.
No, I'm okay.
Are you sure? That wasn't
Yes.
convincing.
No, I'm okay. I'm great.
Okay, so
Right.
what are we doing?
They're saying to head to the trap door.
And where's that?
Apparently just around the front. I see it. Ish. Where are they even pointing anyway?
Umbrin just starts walking as soon as you point.
Okay.
Yes, we're going.
We're going to have to be careful with that one.
We're on the move. We're on the move.
I'll scale down the building.
Okay, so you all reconvene at the trapdoor.
Am I able to see the roof of this building from my current?
You're in a you can very slightly, but you're lower than the top of this warehouse.
Okay, never mind.
You all reconvene outside the trap door as a group.
So you saw someone inside?
Yes.
Just
one
one?
person wearing a mask, not a flux mask. But I could only see. I couldn't see very far. I am going to presume there was more than one person.
Are you eating? Did you get food?
I always bring snacks. Do you not bring snacks?
No, give me some.
Are we concerned of the number of people within this building?
Yes.
Well, the least people, the better, obviously.
Fewer.
Would
Fewer.
we
Thank you.
like to know how many are within?
As long as it doesn't alert them to our position, yeah.
Can you do that?
Perhaps. and like you see he
Just
has
boots
this
the front
canister.
door. Star walks in.
Just go straight in the front door.
Walks through the wall.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You see this canister thing that he has on his back, kind of like pop a lid off of the top of it, and this small mechanical hummingbird just floats out of the top of it and just comes up and floats in front of his face for a few moments. Dan, I am summoning my homunculus, and I would like to telepathically command my little hummingbird to fly up to the top of the building and find a way through, potentially. Like, I'm imagining it could fit in around where the crane is at the very least, but it will locate the most circuitous place to enter from, and with an effort attempt to just fly through, with its only command being count the number of people within.
Okay.
And I can communicate with it telepathically for it to tell me. So every single time it finds a person, Ombrin is going to be found one, found another,
Okay.
found another.
That's quality.
So you start and you send this homunculus, you say?
Yeah, it's just a little mechanical hummingbird.
That's cool. And you send it through a small kind of break within one of the glass panes within the bars that is kind of cracked at one side, leaving a bit of a gap. You send it through, and it buzzes around, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
9 with a question mark.
That can't be good.
I will ask it why the difference.
Big 1. Maybe 2.
I will make mention of that. It is actually an intelligent creature too. So for what it's worth.
Okay. It essentially turns around and goes, too big to be 1. More like 2. And essentially tells you that it is 1 person, but they're massive.
Gotcha.
It's Tanner. Let's go get
him. So yeah, found 8. 1 really, really big person. Not good. Looks mad.
After it counts up those people and it feels confident, I will ask it to return, and it just comes flying back out, and it just like sits down on Ombrin's shoulder and just sits there. And as it's sitting there, you see it kind of transform itself into like a tiny hawk instead.
Nice.
And then transform itself down into like a tiny rat, and then
That's so
crawl
cool.
back into the canister behind his back, because it can be whatever form I want, so it morphs.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Did
Okay.
you tell us what it said?
Yes.
So
While I was basically like mechanically relaying exactly whatever it said. So
Ombrin, out of curiosity, were they all wearing respirator masks?
I will ask my homunculus, were they all wearing masks?
No.
No.
They were not all wearing masks.
I'm feeling that's
I still think we should try and go in the hatch rather than the front door. We might be able to come in from underneath them rather than the front.
Just to clarify, Ombrin, the homunculus tells you not all of them, but most are wearing masks.
Okay.
So
I
you
will
guys,
clarify that then.
deep
Or
breath
Virgil.
and run through this place as quick as you can. No, I'm joking.
Can I suggest that those who breathe cover their mouth and nose with either a bit of cloth or mask or something?
Yeah, Edivir just pulls up his scarf over his nose as he usually does.
I do pull the cloak closed around the face.
Would you like me to check the trapdoor area for gases?
there's a lot you can do. So, yes. Really,
And
anything
he
you
just immediately flips open the door and walks down inside the trapdoor.
Okay, so you just
not what I
immediately
meant, not
open
what I
the
meant.
trapdoor.
Yes.
As he
Okay.
goes to grab it, I'll try and pull him back if I have
Okay.
time.
Contested
He's
grapple
not
then.
he's not like speedily doing it. If someone makes an effort to stop him, he will stop.
He will stop.
But like you very much get the sense of if someone commands him to do something, he will
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Perhaps we should be a little bit more specific with our instructions from now on, but assume at least while we're here, anything you're doing, try and do it somewhat inconspicuously. So don't just go running through any doors or anything like that. At least until we seem to be in open combat. Can anyone else think of any parameters we need to set?
Oh god, it's happening.
Parameters are very helpful.
I mean, I've done this once before, but okay.
I mean, we're going to have to open the hatch anyway. I mean,
Yes, but
Is there concern for the hatch?
no.
Potentially, yes, potentially trapped.
it could
Oh.
be trapped and someone could be on the other side of it.
I will investigate the hatch for traps.
One question.
And you see his fingers start changing and morphing into thieves' tools.
Nice.
Nice. Omrin, in your head, you, as I guide you, you just hear like this faint. It's like a cold chill if you feel the cold, but you just feel like the metal of your body kind of tightens slightly as it gets a bit cold, and I cast guidance on you.
Nice. Okay, so roll me a check with thieves' tools to check for traps.
Investigation for the traps.
Yeah.
Plus a D4.
Right. Plus the D4. Oh, in response to you doing the guidance, I think that because you have to reach out and touch, Kiri has to reach out and touch Umbrin. I think Umbrin turns and like as her finger is coming to touch him, he like morphs one of his fingers back into a regular finger from the thieves' tools, and they like touch fingertips. And he also guides Kyria.
Oh, mutual guidance.
Hey.
We'd love to see it.
That is 19 plus 5 plus 4. So
28.
20.
Damn.
Holy shit. Okay. So you start checking the door, the trap door for traps. Such a good roll as well. How am I going to do this? How am I going to just... essentially, there's nothing that gives anything away in the first instance. You're looking over, it looks very much like a normal trapdoor, right? But it isn't until you start to inspect where the hinges are, and there isn't much of a gap between, so you can't really see much on the other side of it. But as you kind of like begin to put a little bit of pressure on the door to lift up, you tune your audio receptors in and hear a very audible like twang noise of like stretch.
Like a cord stretching.
Yeah, like, and you can hear that, and then you just kind of like push the door back down, and it immediately gives you the impression it's trapped.
Okay. I will endeavor to disarm the trap then, with my fingers morphing into thinner filaments to go into the cracks.
Okay.
Trying to create a bypass for whatever the stretching cord is.
Okay, so what are you going to try and do? Are you trying to like clip it? Are you trying to hold it in place as you open the door?
Well, I think it's kind of a bypass scenario where he locates the two different points of tension. And then creates a separate tension block for each of those 2 points, so that if the tension across whatever is stretching snaps, they still have tension from a different angle.
Excellent. Excellent.
I need to write this stuff down.
Yeah, good.
That is essentially
what playing 35 years of D&D will do to you, my friends.
Yeah, you managed to do so. That is a hell of a shout. And because of that expert disarmament of that trap, you, sir, can have inspiration. That was very, very good.
Also,
Very, very well played. And you manage to push the filaments of your fingers through the gaps of this door and tighten the two tripwires as such, and kind of anchor them against the side walls, so to speak, so that they have constant tension.
Gotcha. And as you guys are watching Ombrin do this, like, it takes a minute to do this, right? You all see his eyes like go down to like the tiniest slits and like extend out ever so slightly, and like his body almost seems like liquid transformation in ways where the metal bits of it like reform and put themselves into whatever configuration is necessary for him to do the task at hand.
Excellent.
The trap has
well,
been disarmed.
once he's done that,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Quick thought. This cart, I assume this cart that's on the map next to the trapdoor is actually there in real life.
Yeah.
This one.
It is.
Is that the same cart that you saw carrying the symbol?
It is not, Ombrin. This is a much smaller hand cart. The one that you were almost ran over by was a full horse-drawn cart.
The previous one could haul 18 times more load than that one and required the use of at least a minimal of 2 beasts of burden in order to move.
So whatever they were transporting, they must have taken the whole thing indoors.
Or it
Actually-
came and then left.
There
There's
is,
no
Curious.
way of knowing such matters.
there is a crane around the back. They could have used that to
Curious.
unload as well.
Make me a perception check.
Okay.
I think if
Oh,
they came
perfect.
if they came down this street, they wouldn't go through all the fuss of bringing it around the front just to load it on the crane. They probably would have brought it through that door there.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to getting good perception scores. It's still a flat roll, but with guidance, 21!
Let's go, baby!
Nice.
21! Out the corner of your eye, you spot somebody. You spot out the corner of your right eye, so back towards the way that you've just come to where the alleyway is. So if you look on the map, oh god, I know they changed the scene on the OBS then. About here. So you're kind of stood over here at this point. You see somebody about here. About 3 foot tall, humanoid figure, blonde hair down to beyond their shoulders, very tattered, like disheveled, like really battered clothing, almost falling off their person. As you see the image of this small child, this small female child, with muck and dirt over their shoulders, holding a teddy bear by the only arm, whereas the other, it's missing one arm, missing one leg, as it's just swinging, and they kind of look at you, wave, and then walk off down the alley.
Abby, 2 seconds. I promise I won't go far. And I'm gonna go catch up to the little girl.
Okay, you race to the end of the alley, and as you get to that end of the alley, you see the girl at the very far end of the alley, just kind of wave, and then start to walk off again.
Hey, wait! Can I send a message into, like, to the direction?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
No response.
They're kind of like, they've got like this paralysis right now. Do they go after the thing right in front of them? But they know they have something really important to do. Okay. But what if that's someone who's spying on us? Eddie?
Yeah.
Back in an hour! I'm joking.
Did you see the little girl?
Who?
There's a little girl.
No.
Okay, I thought... I'm just worried that maybe somebody saw us and then... Because she waved at me. Do I chase it down or do I come back?
I think it's best you came back. If it's someone keeping an eye on us and gone off to report to someone else, then we need to do this quickly.
Okay.
And not to be funny, but it might be one of your other friends.
Yeah. Okay. I'm coming back. And I'll head back.
Okay.
And as they get back, Edivir's just like, "You okay?"
Yeah. In your head, you hear, "It's difficult to determine what's real or not."
We'll figure it out.
Somebody asked in chat, was it the bear with one arm or the child? so I went, both.
That's a valid question.
Yep. It was the bear. For clarity, it was the teddy bear.
So the hatch is now open.
Well, the hatch is unlocked.
Unlocked.
I haven't opened it yet.
Deactivated.
Umbrin is kind of like standing there and is looking, saw Kyria move away and is just kind of waiting. And as there's a lull, they would say, "Would you like me to investigate for gases now?"
Why don't you let us make the first few steps inside, check that everything's safe, and then you can come in and do your...
Eddie,
I don't breathe.
Yeah, it might be better that they go first.
I'm more worried about what might be down there other than gases. I can hold my breath for a couple of minutes.
We're only a second behind.
If there is danger, I would like you not to be placed in that danger if I can help it.
Okay. I'll let you go ahead.
Don't go too far.
Leanna, roll me a D100, please.
Okay.
What is this? What is happening? Stop this. We just want to go inside. Stop making us nervous.
You know he's doing that just to get a rise out of you, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
absolutely.
And it works.
That's a 46.
How?
46.
Oh, wait. D100.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll
What
just
did
make...
you think I was rolling?
D20.
I forgot. I thought you were taking
He was
the
so
piss.
traumatized by the request, he forgot what the request
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
PTSD from, gaming with Dan for too long.
Yeah,
Vir-
very much
Virgil, I'll have a D4 from you, please.
A D4.
Yeah.
What's happening?
3.
3. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's alright.
I think I know what this is.
Okay.
Can I
Cool.
proceed?
Yeah, you open the door and you start wandering down.
Yeah.
It is, you are walking down these stone steps, very much cobblestone steps down into this darkened area. Make me a perception check as you begin to descend into the lower section of this warehouse.
I'm trying to keep him in sight as much as I can.
Is the room lit?
Very dim.
Okay. Ombrin's eyes will shift and flashlights come out of his eye sockets.
Nice.
Subtle. Yeah.
Nice.
Very subtle.
There is no such thing as subtle in his brain
That's good.
pan. So
That's good.
that's a total of 16.
16. You, with the aid of your flashlight eyes, managed to get yourself safely down into the lower section of this warehouse. It is dusty, dank, cold. There is cobweb everywhere, and you see in this immediate room that you've kind of entered into, there is the a few bits of shelving on the around the wall. Just bear with me a second. There it is. Thank you. There is a bit of shelving, but for the most part, what you see is loads of boxes that are piled up against one wall. You see there is a few larger crates with these kind of cloth tarps and what have you lay over them right in the middle of the room. From where you are currently, as if you were to look in the back left corner, there are two very large barrels around 10 feet from the ground up, about 5 to 6 feet wide. They are huge vats type deals, are these wooden kind of barrels. You also hear very faintly from a room not far from where you're currently stood, you hear what appears to be the low grumbles of what could be described as an animal growl. Very much a...
Being the expert alchemist that Ombrin is, because that is his artificer specialty, does Ombrin detect any kind of gases or anything that would be dangerous, that he believes would be dangerous to his companions?
Make me a survival check, please. Survival, or would it be... Oh, gosh.
I mean, like I said, I have proficiency in alchemy, so...
Yeah. Without actually... how would you test it? You tell me how you would test it.
Looking for
other than
signs,
just breathing in, or are you just looking for visible?
Like looking for visible sign, because usually if there's some kind of gas, there's corrosion on the various containers that are spewing said gases. There's noticeable condensation and deterioration of things in the vicinity of those kinds of gases and the like. So
okay. I
think he's more just looking for any signs of toxicity.
Okay,
before anything else.
I will have a perception, then I'll have your alchemy check, please.
Okay. The perception check is only a 14.
Okay.
Alchemy is 24.
Woo!
Oy.
You do see that there is this kind of fog, like very light haze type gaseous form in the whole vicinity of this basement. With a 24 in alchemy, you do get the sense that this is not the nicest. It doesn't have the nicest of properties. However, it is not unfamiliar to you. You have come across these properties before. You don't know where. You don't know when, you don't know how you've come across them, but something very distinctly registers with you, like, I know what this is, but I don't know how I know what this is.
Right, it's familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that familiarity come with a sense of danger attached to it?
It does. Okay. Yeah, it does. Not through... almost like a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. Not so much like Ralph and the back of that fiery bus going, I'm in danger, but very much like something's not quite right. And I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but something is telling me in my core this is not good.
Okay. I think that the animal growling doesn't even register to Ombrin because he doesn't see a threat in that, and he's so distracted by the feelings that everything else is kind of stirring up within him, because it's not a memory it's triggering as much as like an emotional response, right? And so I think he just turns and like starts walking back up and out through the doors. He reaches up to the top and just turns and closes the hatch. And he says, you should not go down there.
Why?
It is quite dangerous.
Why?
The caustic varieties of chemicals and such in that vicinity will cause you great harm.
Right. Kiri, did you hear anything back from the Raven? You haven't called him out, have you?
Kiri just goes, no, not yet. Mr. Raven.
Whereabouts are you?
I'm still here. Why? At the Druid Circle? I'm just waiting for Pim.
We're at the warehouse now.
We might be a little while.
How long's a little while?
It's shorter than a long while, but not as much as I could be quick. I'll be quick.
Okay. Should we proceed?
Only if you think that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't know. He's not there. He's never been here before. I don't know. I have no idea.
Sometimes you have to trust the people on the ground.
Yeah, man. Like, if you think that it's the right thing to do, then you do what you think is right.
I don't think anything to do is the right thing to do when you're in charge.
Carry on. Well, you're up, Eddie. He said blow it up.
They might be a little while, but they'll probably join us. He said he'd try and be as quick as possible.
So what do we think? Do we just keep tabs on this place until they arrive, or do we go in now?
I think we should go in now, but if you don't think the basement, there's a lot of those words I didn't understand, but not safe I understand. Maybe
Well,
we should go through the front door.
I could perhaps draw them to the basement while we enter the front door, or vice versa.
Is this with one of your devices?
Smaller one.
With the... I mean, I don't know much about gases, but some gases go boom. If you make a boom, that can make a very
then problem
big
solved.
boom.
Based on my check earlier, Dan, would I assume that the chemicals that I observed are the variety that might be a little unstable around an explosion?
There's definitely hydrogen mixed in there, so, like a little bit, yeah.
Oh my god, guys, please let me do it.
Are you contemplating setting off explosive materials inside of the basement area?
No. He might be.
I've received 2 separate answers to my query.
He always wants to blow things up, but we also want information and...
I don't always want to blow
this.
things up, I just always see the benefit.
In this particular instance, I am afraid I would have to create a counter argument that there would be little benefit to causing an explosion, as it could potentially cause great harm to anyone not only within inside of this building, but potentially releasing toxic gases and other not pleasant materials in the vicinity, harming those outside of the building and in the greater vicinity of this neighborhood, and potentially beyond if the winds are correct.
All right, I'll concede on the second point. What should we do?
So you listen to the new guy. All right, I thought we were closer than that, but that's...
I listen to all of you.
I think maybe we should go through the front door then. If the basement is dangerous, I don't know where these fumes are coming. Did it look like the gases were coming from the basement?
They were in the variety of containers and barrels and like that were located within the basement. It was a definite storage facility for whatever materials they are using for whatever purposes they have within this building. Yes,
Kyria?
Kind of like visibly shrinking in on themselves, so they're kind of hesitant to suggest, I could go through the walls and make a distraction while you guys go to the front door.
The guy upstairs that I saw had a mask, so these fumes may also be in the upstairs as well. I don't mean to be insensitive, but I know you can do your thing. Do you need to breathe when you do that?
Well, I had a panic attack, but I think that was more my body going through the motions of it. I don't remember like properly hyperventilating and not being able to breathe.
Know how that feels.
Yeah.
I think if it's just 9 people, we just go through the door, shock and awe.
Okay, what about this? What if I don't blow something up? But Ombrin, when you were down there, did you happen to notice if the ceiling, or technically on the level we are now, the floor, was it floorboards or was it a solid surface? I could set off a smoke grenade in the basement, which might draw them down, and then we can enter more quietly. With them thinking there might be a fire in the bottom floor, might give us more opportunity to enter unseen, maybe catch a few of them off guard. We want to split up the pack. If there's 8 of them in there and one of them's fucking massive, we want to try and split them up as much as we can. Otherwise, we'll be overwhelmed.
Dan, do I recall if the ceiling
wooden,
of the basement was wooden?
Yeah.
It is slats. Your theory is sound.
See, my methods aren't always about explosions. There's other things that I can do.
I apologize for
but
assuming.
mainly explosions.
But mainly explosions. If I can help it, it's
usually an explosion.
Yeah, but
Okay, so if we make our way to the front,
just that door there.
Yes, you throw said smoke device down the stairs.
Yeah, give it maybe 15, 20 seconds for the smoke to start seeping up through the floor.
Maybe
Let 'em
the
notice it.
birdie can tell us if they're running down.
Love that.
And then once they're running down, we run in. Or do we
Mm.
sneak in? Are we running in or are we sneaking in?
I think we sneak in at first. Kyria, if you want to try your thing as well, then maybe you can enter from the other side.
You can do that.
You should be advised, I do not sneak very well.
Hopefully
By
you won't
very
have
well,
to for
I
too
mean
long.
not at all.
That's okay, neither does he. And I point to Virgil with all his clanging jewelry.
Jangling.
Right? So we're used to that.
Okay.
We have a plan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sort of sounds like we do. Virgil, anything to add?
Yes, we should leave. This is an awful plan. We're outnumbered. We are outgunned. We are possibly walking into a toxic environment with no way to probably breathe.
Why did we wait 25 fucking minutes? This is great. We wait 25 minutes to finally form a
Virgil's
plan,
like,
and the Virgil's like,
no.
Classic.
Love that.
We need the information, though.
What information now? What are we actually going in there for?
Who is
And how do we know they
making
know?
this? They might be in there. There might be documents. We don't know. That's why we need to go in.
Well, look, the worst case scenario, or maybe not worst case scenario, but a bad case scenario, we don't find anything other than a bunch of flux and we destroy it so it can't be disseminated through the city anymore. Might not give us any more leads, but we've got other leads we can chase down. We're here now.
And it
So
can harm less
are they.
people if he destroys the stockpile of.
Honestly, and you'll think me strange for saying this, but I'm actually kind of on Dag's side about just blowing the building up.
Oh my god.
Quite frankly.
Jack starts salivating.
I think Ombrin just takes a step towards Kyria, putting himself between Kyria and Virgil.
Quite frankly, if this place is as volatile as it seems, even setting off a small amount of explosive is going to bring the place down or at least damage it greatly. It might lead who we need to get here or send the people inside to where we want them to go. I can't imagine this warehouse is the base of operation, but if it gets damaged badly enough, we can watch and wait and see who turns up to inspect what has happened.
A large explosion like that, pretty sure the first people to turn up will be City Guard and SBC.
And yeah, we will be overwhelmed by.
I mean, we won't be here, but Dag, this was your idea. You wanted to blow it up.
Well, I wanted to make a small explosion, but Oberyn quite rightly identified that could lead to a much, much, much larger explosion, which could damage a lot more than what is just contained within this building.
Okay.
Well, very likely the explosion would be contained, but the ancillary effects of the gases rampaging across to this quadrant of the city could be caustic.
Dag just like points a thumb towards Oberyn halfway through his thing.
Yes, indeed, Oberyn. You are quite the thinker, aren't you?
Oberyn, sorry.
Thank you.
I think the plan. I mean, look, we've got a plan B.
Okay, what are we doing?
Would you like me to go and knock on the door?
No.
Oh.
Yes!
Okay.
All right.
We're
I
gonna
thought
go
we
with
were just
plan A.
throwing out potential options for things to do.
We're gonna go with plan A, which
We'll call
is
that plan C.
smoke bomb, sneak in the front door. If things go sideways, we have a safe word, which is smorgasbord.
Don't say that! Ombrin's eyes turn red. Both are so...
Oh no, it's the keyword. He's a sleeper agent. Sore hands.
Yeah.
Ombrin's head does kind of tilt to the side at the mention of that, though, and it's like, but we only have 2 effective plans.
Yes, if
I think you need at least 5 in order to have an appropriate smorgasbord of ideas.
What?
He's
Do you
not
know what that
wrong.
word means?
Yes.
Yes, it means a wide
You know
variety
what that
of
word
any
means?
particular thing.
Yes.
For example, you can have a smorgasbord of art displayed on a wall.
We're getting sidetracked.
it just means run for us.
Yeah, smorgasbord
Which
means
when?
run.
No, run means run. Smorgasbord means...
Yes, but we could say run by accident.
So,
Okay, smorgasbord
Edu-
means get out of dodge quickly.
Edivir creates a smoke bomb.
Yeah, using one of my charges.
Not just going in.
And I'm going to have my hummingbird fly back into the building and tell me when they see anyone running down into the basement area.
Okay, cool. Like it.
The rest
Can
of us
I
are going to the front.
ask Ombrin whether can your cool little guy can he identify like a key office place or like a secure looking room?
I ask him if he sees any such room.
And he replies and goes, yeah.
Yes.
Where?
Where?
I'm gonna make it do this whole thing every time. Upstairs, second room, there's like a room that's got like a glass front, and there's a desk in there with a chair and stuff.
And is there
That
someone
looks
in there?
important. Hold on, let
It-
Ombrin relay the information. Play the game,
Yeah,
Kieran.
you're getting ahead of yourself. You're not there. You're not there.
Yeah.
It appears that there is an observator's office located in the upper second floor area that overlooks a number of things with a glass wall.
And is it occupied?
Is it occupied?
No, not right now.
Not at the moment, no.
I found my point of entry.
Okay, keep in touch, and we'll give you a signal when it's safe. I will walk sort of about halfway down the stairs and throw the smoke bomb as deep into the room as I can.
Okay, no problem. You hear it go clunk,
So,
clunk, clunk, clunk,
sort
clunk,
of-
clunk, clunk.
To give you an idea, so I'm trying to make it so that the smoke comes as far away from our point of entry as possible that I can manage. So I'm trying to chuck it like right down this end
Yeah.
of the building so that we can enter
well-
through here. Well,
You wouldn't be able to throw it that far down the building.
however deep the room goes.
Yeah. That's fine. You launch it. It goes clattering across the floor and underneath one of the big vats in the far corner.
Yeah. The room begins to fill with smoke. Stack up. And I will stack up on this door here.
Okay.
I go to the wall under where I've been directed to. Even if it's around a building, I'm going round to just so I can go up and through.
Okay. So you race round. It's literally where the room is. It's above the double doors anyway, so you'd be able to just
fine.
woof
Okay.
straight up.
Cool.
So you change form, or are you waiting?
Waiting.
Waiting. Okay. Umbran. After a minute or two, you hear your little friend turn and go, a couple of people have started to go downstairs. There seems to be a little bit of panic in the room now.
They are investigating the basement now. Shall I open the door?
Just scared that he's just going to open the door. Let me do it. And I test the handle. See if it
Yep,
gives.
it's a... Okay, yeah. Yep, I thought you were doing that thing just in case there's a fire on the inside. You just touch it very slightly.
No, I'm seeing if it's
yeah.
locked.
It is not locked.
Before we get too much further, before we go in, while we were waiting for the smoke to envelop the place, can I have said to Liana, and I would have just like gestured to the hand cart and gestured to the trapdoor. Might be worth blocking it. If that's where they are. Gives them less of an opportunity to get up to us.
Brilliant. And I let go of the handle. I run round and I drag the car on top of the hatch to stop them coming out of the hatch.
Okay, athletics check, please.
Athletics. Oh, that's not great. That's 5
wheels.
plus 5, 10.
10. I wasn't asking for an athletics to see how easy you could move it. More how smoothly. And you hear it on top of the wooden trapdoor. You've definitely made a noise by doing this.
Let's go.
Okay, so Edivir, Virgil, Liana, and Umbrin, you bust through the main doors into the warehouse.
Slowly.
You
quietly.
step through the door to the warehouse
And
quietly
you
and slowly.
feel this gust of cold air as Umbrin, from the corner of their eye, sees Kyria become ephemeral. This ghost where they stood and begins to float up.
Umbrin, you see this, and this is the first time that you remember seeing anything like this before. As Kyria's form shifts into this corporeal form, and they begin to float in the air and woof through the wall.
Does he start to look scared?
No, I don't think so. I think he just casually turns to Dag and says, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't give her the flying potion."
Would have been waste.
Indeed.
You all creep through into the door of this building. Kyria, I'm just going to remove you from the map for now.
That's a good sign.
I'm off doing my own thing.
But you step through
Oh, I disappeared.
into the warehouse.
We got rid of a couple of them at least.
I need Liana, Edivir, and Virgil to make me Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh, for fuck's
Have we still got our stuff over us?
That's fine.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Constitution. I don't think I've got much of that, do I? Oh, +2.
Saving.
Ooh, 14.
Okay.
7.
13.
What was that, Virgil? Sorry.
13.
And Liana.
7.
Dear.
7. Okay. Umbrin, you are unaffected by whatever it is I've just made them roll for, so you do not need to roll.
Good for
Yay!
you, buddy. Good for you.
You all step into this space. It is a bit darker in here than it is outside. There's very little natural light that comes in, and even the natural light that does manage to seep into this place is somewhat buffeted by this fog-like haze substance that's in the air in this entire warehouse. You all step in. Virgil, Liana, and Edivir, even though you have covered your nose and mouth, you even catch this chemically tinge in the back of your throats and all begin to just very low. You won't give your position away by doing this, but you all feel this sensation at the back of your throat.
Staying as close to the door as humanly possible now that it's open and we're in. Looking around the entrance area, do I see any sort of masks hanging up, any respirators, breathers, anything like that kicking about for people to start wearing when they get in?
Perception check, please, with disadvantage.
Can I assist him?
So how can I do that?
You can roll.
Assist.
You can assist Umbrin, yeah. You wouldn't be able to assist because you're going to suffer the same penalty out of it, so it wouldn't negate the thing.
Was it
However,
perception?
perception, yes, but you can have it with a straight roll as Umbrin is helping you.
It's a good ruling, that.
Right, well, 9.
9, and that's a straight roll, yeah? That's not
That's a straight
disadvantage.
roll.
9. Unfortunately, you do not see any in the near vicinity of you. You don't see any respirators. However, as you're looking around, you see very faintly, but very easy to make out, there is a person. Roughly, he gets his measuring thing. roughly about 55 to 60 feet away from you. You can see them almost dead ahead of where you are, in between two lots of shelving. As you four enter the building. Iria, you and your corporeal form through the wall into this office space.
Yes.
1 second. Sorry, one sec. Oh, there it is. You see in this room, there is a large glass-paneled wall that oversees and looks out into this warehouse. On the floor that you are on, you see that stretching high above the ground level are these catwalks and walkways that go around the edge of the warehouse, and then there's one kind of gangway across almost the middle of the room.
Okay.
You see where you're stood. After your right-hand side, there is a door. To your left, there is a desk with a chair. You see there are tattered bits of paper all over the desk. And you see that on one side of the desk underneath, there is a set of drawers next to it.
Okay. The papers on the top. Well, I'm initially looking for any sign of the symbol of the snake, of the skull with the cobra. Whether that be on the loose paper, like mainly looking at the moment on the loose papers on the desk.
Investigation check it'll be, please.
Investigation. I'm quite good at those. Oh yeah, I am with a nat 20. Let's go. 23.
Nice. Lovely. You do not see them
Okay.
on the papers, and you're moving them around and looking through every single bit of paper that you can see on the desk. You don't see any, and as you kind of like drop them and like lift your head up, on the chair that is carved into the very top of the chair, where this like ADX thing is here,
Yeah.
there is the symbol, boomf. Skull with a snake's head on it. Is there anything else you'd like to do just before we go back downstairs?
I would. So obviously at the moment I've been trying to rummage through the papers. Oh, sorry. I know that I have trouble kind of interacting with solid objects at the moment. What I'd quite like to do is, given my, superior dark vision, I would like to actually put my head through the desk to look at what's in the drawers.
Absolutely genius.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Nice. That's the most creative way I've heard of getting around. You just put your head in the desk. Incredible. I
have a plus 12 to my lock picking skills. Well, I have a see-through head.
So you see that there are more bits of paper, rolled up parchments, things like that. However, you've just put your head in a pitch black drawer.
I can see in darkness.
I know, but it's a bit more difficult to see. Whether you can see on it is dark vision.
It's as though it's dim for me.
Yes, exactly. So it is a little bit harder to see things while your head's in a drawer.
Yes.
But there are definitely like papers and parchments and even like a leather-backed book in there.
Okay. And do I see if I turn my head so I'm almost like in the drawer? Do I see a locking mechanism or a trap mechanism or anything like that?
No trap mechanism, but there's definitely like a keyhole where a key would go. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna actually probably look down to see what's going on. I kind of remember that I shouldn't just be having my head in a desk, and remember that my friends are at the door.
Okay.
And so I kind of like, oh shit, and I kind of float over. I'm trying to look for eyes on them and eyes on other people, and I want to kind of give like a radio view, like a top-down view, and feedback what I'm seeing versus what they're seeing.
Perception check with disadvantage, please.
Overwatch.
I know it isn't disadvantage because it's dim or dimly lit. It is it is obscured because of the smoke. So disadvantage, please. And if Edivir's helping you, it is still disadvantage.
It's just a 10.
A 10. Okay. You spot that there are... I'm trying to move the map about. You see that there are roughly 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 6 individuals on the ground floor, same level as your friends, all at various points around the warehouse. 4 of them are pretty much just kind of like stood or sat on barrels or holding their own, like wherever they're positioned within the room. And there are 2 individuals wandering around. You see that they're all... most of them have got what appears to be like leather armaments on. There are 2 individuals, however, within this area that have metallic armor, whether it's plate, half plate, mail. You're not too sure because of how difficult it is to see. But you see there are roughly 6 individuals on this top floor, on the ground level. Sorry.
Okay, and so who? I want to basically call out to... I'll probably go to Edivir, I reckon. Just because I know he can be stealthy and could potentially take some of them out to get the masks. The 2... Like, whoever's closest... Is there a... I know they come through the front door, so is there a way I can guide Edivir to the front... to the closest person?
There is, and you would be able to do that. However, we are going to pick this up next week. We are going to end this here purely because the next couple of steps are going to kick off whatever is about to happen. So I'm going to allow you guys a week to formulate plots, plans, all the rest of it, and we will pick this back up next week. So we'll call that session where it is. Just before we go down rabbit holes and start chains of events that spell out the end of Winmere. So yeah, we'll end that where it is. But thank you so much for coming and playing this wonderful game with me, guys. That was great.
Thank you, Nico, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome in.
Surprise!
Been far more useful than any of the rest of us this session.
Yes.
I aim to please.
What is the highest you can go in stats for level 1? Depends on how you roll your stats, to be honest. If you roll them with dice, it can be anywhere up to 20, depending on your DM, but I would say typically around 18 is the highest stat you could do, and then you're like min-maxing at that point. So there you are.
It's typically like 16 is your max.
Yeah,
if you go with some crazy like race background kind of combos, like I think I know some Warforged. Warforged, yeah. I think Warforged you can get up there to like into the 20s on certain things.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was a lovely little question. Thanks very much for asking that, Cleric. But let's not skirt over the fact that Miko has joined us as a guest player.
Thank you.
That was so good of you to join us, man. Thank you so much for being a part of this little section of this adventure. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where we can find more of your content and things like that? Plug away. Plug.
I can do that. I am Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. You can find out all kinds of things about me at theoksgm.com, or you can check out my socials, most of which are the_OKest_GM. I am a co-founder and creator over at Folk and Myth, another Twitch channel. We stream all kinds of actual play content in many different games, Free League games, D&D, Vampire the Masquerade, all kinds of stuff. I myself have an ongoing currently Dungeons and Dragons. We might change the system in the future. Homebrew World of Ystera, that one of my friends in the chat, Andrew, is a player in. It's a great game, takes place on Wednesday evenings. I am, as you could probably tell, a lousy American, and so most of the folks that I think are on this stream or watching this stream are likely asleep when I'm running my games, but we have all of our stuff up on YouTube as well, youtube.com/folkandmyth. We have all of our VODs up there, and feel free to check us out. We would greatly appreciate it, and it has been wonderful. being able to finally, this months in the making event, finally coming to
Complete
fruition.
surprise for all of us. It was amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
Getting to join in. You guys are great. Thank you for having me. So I appreciate
You're
it.
more
so
than
much.
welcome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Thank you for stopping by and spending your Tuesday evening with us. We will be back next week. We are about to raid a channel that I saw an advert for the other day, and it looked incredible. They're an actual play D&D group. The Dungeon Master was actually an actor on the Last Kingdom TV show on Netflix. Their group is called Natural Six, and it looks incredible. Lots of Dwarven Forge stuff they've got on display and everything. So we're gonna go and raid them. Make sure you stick around. Go check their channel out. If we don't speak to you before, we will see you on Tuesday. Make sure you check out the VODs on Sunday and the podcast as soon as Chris gives us the ability to upload podcasts again. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.